parent should have to bury a child. No mother should have to bury a son. Mothers are not meant to bury sons. It is not in the natural order of things. I buried my son in a potter's field, in a field of blood, in empty, acrid silence. There was no funeral. There were no mourners. His friends all absent, his father dead, his sisters refusing to attend. I discovered his body alone. I dug his grave alone. I placed him in a hole and covered him with dirt and rock alone. I was not able to finish burying him before sundown. And I do not know if that affected his fate. I begrudge God none of this. I do not curse him or bemoan my lot. And though my heart keeps beating only to keep breaking, I do not question why. I remember the day my son was born, as if it was yesterday. That moment the midwife placed him in my arms, I was infused with a love beyond all measure and understanding. I remember holding my son and looking over at my own mother and saying, now I understand why the sun comes up at day and the stars come out at night. Now I understand why rain falls gently. Now I understand you, Mother. I loved my son. Every day of his life. And I will love him ferociously long after my heart stops beating. I am a simple woman. I am not bright or learned. I do not read. I do not write. My opinion is unsolicited. My voice is not important. On the day of my son's birth, I was infused with a love beyond all measure and understanding. The world tells me that God is in heaven and that my son sits in hell. And I tell the world the one true thing I know. If my son sits in hell, then there is no heaven. Because if my son sits in hell, there is no God.
Next case.
Now, Purgatory, contrary to popular belief, has plumbing and bodegas. And they even got a movie theater and a little park where people can walk their dogs at. But Hope definitely got none of that, and it definitely don't smell good.
Next case, Bailiff.
I rented Hope for 2.5 years. That's how I got these wings. And I wouldn't trade nothing for these wings. I could fly with these wings. At night I fly down to earth and I watch my littlest baby boy sleep. He's 7, and he's got a picture of me right on his wall, right in between Shaquille O'Neal and the Incredible Hulk. Then I go fly uptown to one of my oldest baby girl's house and watch my grandchild a little bit sleep. Most nights I can see my oldest baby girl, Tanya, with her feet in a pot of hot water, always studying her books, and I'll stick around to see her man Mr. come home late from work, always with a muffin or a hamburger for my baby girl. Winston's love for my baby girl is all over his face. I was wrong about him. I always thought he was shifty. When I get back to heaven, I tell my husband Delane all about it. Delane don't like to fly, but he likes to hear the stories. And he also likes how I look when I come home from Earth, all windblown. Now hope, it changes with times, but it has always stood as God's gift to the last of his children. It is said that every civilization rearranges the cosmic furniture differently. In biblical times, hope was an oasis in the desert. In medieval days, a shack free of plague. Today, hope is no longer a place for contemplation. Litigation being the preferred new order of the day.
Where's my damn bailiff?
Here, sir.
And call the next damn case.
Yes, sir. God in the kingdom of heaven and earth versus Thorstein the implacable. Motion to appeal.
Denied. Next case.
God in the kingdom of heaven and earth versus Henry Wayne Masters.
Nope.
God in the kingdom of heaven and earth versus Benedict Arnold.
Oh, hell no.
God in the kingdom of heaven and earth versus Judas Iscariot.
Judas Iscariot. Who brings this crap before me?
Your Honor, my name is Fabiana Aziza Cunningham.
Never heard of you.
I live in Purgatory.
Well, you should have kept your legs closed. Motion denied. Next case.
Your Honor, I have a writ signed by St. Peter at the gates of heaven.
Next case.
But I have a writ.
She has a writ, sir.
Excuse me?
Just saying, the lady, she's got a writ on you.
Bailiff, let's set up a little signal between the two of us, okay?
Okay.
Good. Now, when I come into court dressed as Ethel Merman in a one-piece bathing suit, that'll be my signal to you that I want your opinion.
Yes, sir.
Good. Next case.
Well, what about the writ, sir?
What's your name, bailiff?
Julius of Outer Mongolia?
You're on work release from Purgatory, Judas, correct?
Yes, sir.
You want to get to heaven someday? Eat fried chicken and mashed potatoes? Feel the sun on your face?
Very much, sir.
Then call the next damn case.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir.
Good. Have a lollipop.
Thank you, sir.
Next case.
Well, like the writ, sir.
Bailiff.
Your Honor, if I may,
Who speaks before me?
it is I, Yusef El-Fayoumy.
Who the hell are you?
An attorney, great sir, willing and able to prosecute this shadow of a case to defend the gates of heaven and the kingdom of God against this big shenanigan of a so-called writ. Great handsome sir, look no further. Yusef El-Fayoumy is a beacon for justice.
A beacon, eh?
Yes, I may approach you.
The bench, not me.
Yes, of course, a bench. And it's a lovely bench, sturdy, splendid, like the great Delia that rests upon it. Your Honor, I received this right several weeks ago, and I'm preparing nights and days with the delegations it contains.
Your Honor, let the record reflect I have no opposition to Mr. El-Fayoumy here.
Speak when spoken to.
Do not bait this great man, lady. He presided over the appeal of Attila's 100, when you were nothing more than a cheap shot of whiskey from your great-great-grandfather's unpaid bar.
Well said.
Forgive me.
You're licensed to practice, Mr. El-Fayoumy.
License. Absolutely. Submitted for your most scrumptious, discerning approval. Most cementally, great sir.
Sir, his name is El-Fayoumy.
What?
You called him El-Fayoumy.
Just give me my glasses.
You're wearing them, sir.
My other glasses.
They're right here.
Most worshipful Lord and Master, a tiny little problem. My license, I seem to have left it in my other suit. I could go back to and retrieve it.
From hell, are you?
Temporarily detained. The problem with my papers.
You sure about that?
I'm quite sure, Your Grace. I attribute a mix-up to the Americanization of the afterlife. A completely understandable in no recent events.
You're damn right.
Yes, Your Grace, as are you.
Cunningham, let me see this writ.
Here, Your Honor.
You have great legs, Fabiana.
Cunningham, this writ is garbage. Next case.
Your Honor, my client.
Your client is Judas Iscariot. Your client sold out the Son of God for Christ's sake.
Your Honor, that has no...
Cunningham, Judas Iscariot committed the one unforgivable sin. Everybody knows it.
The sin of despair.
And then he did the world a favor and hung himself.
From the olive branch, the cow.
Next case.
Your Honor, that writ is signed by St. Peter.
I know Peter, and he's prone to error, believe me. And he's rash.
Rash, absolutely. A little place called the Garden of Gethsemane, ring any bells, Fabiana? When your client sold him out with a kiss, what did Peter do?
I know it's...
Well, know it again. Peter took out his sword and started chopping off the ears of the authorities. Can you imagine? She sounds great. Put the ears back on. It was a big mess, really.
Next case.
Your Honor, I cite Beatitudes and Kierkegaard. I cite Christ on the cross.
I cite my foot in your ass, Cunningham.
I cite Hegel. Within every idea, thesis is contained as contradiction. Antithesis. And out of that struggle is created synthesis. Synthesis, Your Honor. The union of opposites, their interdependence, and their inevitable clash producing what's next. What must be revealed? God's perfect love versus God's rightful justice equals what, Your Honor?
Out of my
The
courtroom.
synthesis of love and justice can produce only mercy and forgiveness. If a just God sits in heaven, it can fall no other way.
Next case.
For Your Honor!
Next case. Next case. Next case. Next case. Crazy mint bitch.
All right, boys, cue those trumpets and the dancing camels.
Thanks, boys. Hey, yo. Welcome to my world. So this is the part of the story where if it wasn't for me, there wouldn't be no more parts to the fucking story, okay? My name is Monica. Better known to you, mi amoros, as Saint Monica. Yeah, that's right, Saint. As in better not, don't get up in my grill, cause I'll mess your shit up, cause I'm a saint, and I got mad saintly connects, okay? You ever dropped at the Santa Monica Boulevard? You ever ate some sushi done at the Santa Monica Pier? Well, that's my boulevard and my pier, and that's all I gotta say about that. Word to the wise, word is most definitely B-O-N-D, bond. Anyways, let me catch my breath. Anyways, up in heaven, a lot of people don't want to hang with me because they say I'm a nag. It's true. And you know what I gotta say about that? I say fuck them bitches because you know what? I am a nag. And if I wasn't a nag, I never would have made it to be no saint. And the church wouldn't have had no father of the church named Saint Augustine. Because I birthed the motherfucker. Crazy. Like all the time and constantly, I nag as fast to save him. And I nagged and nagged and nagged and nagged. Till God got so tired of my shit that he did save my son. And my son, St. Augustine, he stopped eating horse and sipping on some wine and he became learned. So fucking learned that he is known as one of the fathers of the church. And you can look that shit up. Go ahead, look it up right now. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's right. Follow up with this motherfucker, father of the church. Got a plaque and everything. So if I hadn't been in that, all of your niggas would have been in that church. So sip on that, bitches. Anyways, let me catch my breath. Okay. As a result of my reputation of having God's ear, a lot of motherfuckers pray to me. I have 3 full-time assistants just to sit through it all. Long story short, I was asked to look into the case of Judas Iscariot by this Irish gypsy lawyer bitch of purgatory named Cunningham. She wanted me to do some nagging to God on Judas' behalf. And quite frankly, I was impressed by her nagging abilities, because that bitch nagged my ass day and night for 40 days. But I don't nag just for anybody. And I definitely don't nag for no motherfucker I don't know. So I went up to check out Judas for my own self. He was fucking retarded, he wouldn't talk or nothing. He didn't seem to hear me, and I'm not someone who has a problem expressing myself. I figured he was faking, so I did this. Yo! Judas! Judas, you dumb motherfucker! Judas, yo! I smacked the bitch around a little bit. Yo! Helicopter! Yo! Wake up! Don't run! I know you could hear me! Then I started snapping on his ass. Judas. You got changed from 30 pieces to sober, motherfucker! Judas, how much did you pay for that haircut? 30 pieces to sober? Yo, Judas, what you saw? Hung up. Come on, bitch, let's hang out.
They got no olive oil there. All right, fine, Judas, what do you say? You and me go down to the bar and betray some motherfuckers, what do you say? I know you like betraying. What's up, you ain't in the mood to betray today? Okay, we can just, hey, get it? Hey, did you get it? What's the matter? Hungry? How about some supper? Have some supper, motherfucker, come on, where's your supper, what do you say? I couldn't break him, so I sat down next to him. I sat with Judas Iscariot for 3 days. On the night of the 3rd day, something happened. While I was resting my vocal cords, I saw something unexpected. I saw a single tear for Aloysius' eye. Just one. When the tear hit the ground, I saw it was red like a ruby. I looked at him like this. He couldn't look at me or he looked through me, I couldn't tell. His eyes was empty, he barely breathed. He was like a catatonic statue of a former human being. And I detected sadness in him. Paralyzed and immobilized in overwhelming sadness. His sadness ran through him like a river that had frozen up and died. And no one lived there no more. After a while, I didn't know what else to do, so I thought I would hold him in my arms for like a minute. Warm him up before I left. I held him in my arms for 4 days. On the 3rd day, I remember how Jesus has said that God has the biggest love for the least creatures. And Judas was the least creature I had ever seen. On the 4th day, Judas dropped another single tear. It was clear color this time and evaporated into the earth on impact. He trembled briefly, then froze up again. And I had seen enough. I took out my outer garments and left them for him so he could smell something human. I collected my tears in a bucket and poured it on his face so he could taste the salt. Then I went home and got on the horn to God. I dialed directly. Some people call it being an ad. I call it doing my job. I gotta call me, yo. You should try giving me a shout out if you ever need it, because my name is Monica. I'm the mother of St. Augustine, one of the fathers of the church. And you know what? My ass gets results.
Next case.
God in the kingdom of heaven and earth versus Judas Iscariot.
Bailiff.
She got a writ signed by God, sir.
Sign, seal, the little motherfucker, here!
Here, Your Honor. Note the signature at the bottom.
Bailiff, where's El-Fayoumy?
President of the convoy dripping with participation to defend with marvelous cunning and great letters and your great service against the Satan-sponsored Judas Iscariot and his Mongolian but outlandish misguided defense counsel. Most of them be great, and that is the answer.
Cunningham, I do not like it when lawyers go over my head.
You gave me no choice.
Objection, Your Honor. As human beings, we always have choice. Motion to strike.
Mr. El-Fayoumy, you are aware the trial hasn't actually been done yet, right?
Yes, right. Of course. I was merely... Yes, sir.
Fabiana Aziza Cunningham, that right?
It is.
So where's the red hair and freckles, Cunningham?
My mother was a Romanian gypsy who settled in Vinegar Hills in Harlem in the 1960s.
And your father?
A local parish priest.
Got more on this palm red, did he? All right then, Cunningham. I think it only fair at this juncture to tell you some things about myself. Things that may perhaps inspire you to take your little mission elsewhere. For example, I strongly dislike tapioca pudding.
Tapioca's the worst, I spit on
Sit
it.
down! But even more than tapioca, Cunningham, I dislike the following. Defense attorneys as a rule, half-breeds in general, and Judas Iscariot as anything other than a cautionary tale. Now that a problem for you?
No.
You ever met God, Cunningham?
I don't know that I believe in God.
You just handed me a writ signed by him, and yet you don't know if you believe?
Correct.
Well, what if God were to appear to you, Cunningham? Just one day, boom, God. White beard, flowing robe, the whole rack of lamb.
Your Honor.
What if you were to go home tonight, Cunningham, and Jesus Christ himself were to greet you at your door with a dozen Krispy Kremes and a quart of cold milk and say, Cunningham, Fabiana, it's me. I really am that thing you always feared more than doubted.
Your
What would
Honor.
you do? And what if you let him in, Cunningham, and you sat down with the man for just, say, 3 minutes? And you can touch him and inspect him and interrogate him all you want. And have him do miracles and tell you the exact story of your life. And you ended up convinced, Cunningham, wiping away tears of joy and relief on your living room couch. If he proved it to you, Cunningham, would you believe then?
Well, if he proved it to me, then I suppose I would have to.
After only 3 minutes?
But that would never happen.
Cunningham, you're the cynical, faithless spawn of a crackpot gypsy and a defrocked Nick. Yet you just told me Jesus would have you on your knees in 3 minutes.
So?
So consider this. Your friend Judas, he had Jesus for 3 years. Think about that, Cunningham. 3 years in the foxhole with the best friend you ever had. Then he shot him in the back for a pack of cools. Think what that says about the essential character of the man. Now go home and stir that Joey gypsy teapot. Petition's invalid. Motion denied. Next case.
You're a genius. I'm erect.
Your Honor, this petition is signed by God.
Yeah, but it ain't signed by your client now, is it?
My client is catatonic. He's incapable of signing.
If he's catatonic, then how do you know he wants to appeal in the first place?
Who would want to appeal eternal damnation?
Someone who is aware of his own self-inflicted erosion of the capacity to be filled by grace. Someone too prideful to ask for forgiveness even in the face of the fiery furnace. Or maybe he don't bother asking, because he knows he don't deserve it.
Your Honor, the only person who needs forgiveness is the one who doesn't deserve it.
Then let him ask.
I'm asking for it!
Out of my courtroom, sister, and may God have mercy on your blasted arrogant soul. Now get thee back uptown, woman. Stop your rabble-rousing and get humble, because you ain't going to get to heaven by trying to dismantle the natural order of things that the good Lord has so thoughtfully put together.
Your Honor, are you a citizen of heaven?
Bailiff, remove this woman.
You live here with us. You know no more about God's law than anybody else in this court.
My papers are pending. I'll be up there any day now.
Your papers have been pending since 1864, Your Honor. That's 140 years.
If there's an insinuation at the end of that statement, Cunningham, I suggest you don't make it.
Not insinuation, Your Honor, but a question. If the truth really does set us free, then what is it that is progressively precluding your capacity to answer to that truth? Because 140 years suggests to me that you are not moving closer, but farther and farther away from it every day.
What the hell does Judas Iscariot have to do with my truth, Cunningham? I didn't hang myself from some olive branch.
Not from an olive branch, from a battlefield in northern Georgia, Altoona. And the tree, oh God, believe. Your Honor, I have to wonder what your honest answer will be when you are someday asked how different you are now from that day when you died.
Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. That work for you?
It does.
Put it on the docket.
Docket?
Just write it down. Anything else, Fabiana, Aziza, Cunningham?
No, Your Honor.
Next fucking case.
Be a night with me, I shall slay this fallen woman as the crocodile slays the one-legged.
Next case! Next case! Next case! Next case!
Very little is actually known about Judas Iscariot. Oh, this is my homegirl Loretta. So I'm a nurse who's currently in life support.
Hi, hello.
So did they figure out whether you're coming and going yet?
No, not really. Any day now, they say.
Say, Loretta, you smoke cigarettes?
Well, not unconscious on a respirator.
Yeah, but do you got one for me?
Maybe in my clutch. Oh, here. Oh, shit.
Oh, snap, Newports. Oh, you're my girl now. So anyways, about Judas. Not a lot is actually known except he was chosen to be an apostle. He betrayed Jesus and then he hung himself. Not a lot to go on since we're meant to rely on facts.
You know, I had an uncle who, can I say this?
Go ahead.
Well, when I was a little girl, my drunk Uncle Pino, he used to like to go around saying, I believe because it is absurd. It is certain because it is impossible.
What do you mean by that?
No good. But I think...
Ladies, we're back.
Oh wait, hold up. That's Butch Honeywell. And unlike Loretta, he's definitely dead. And also unlike Loretta, he's got no real interest in figuring that out. So Butch, did we miss anything in there?
Just some crap about the essential paradox of a man. How he refused to juxtapose the absolute to the relative, and some other such about paradox being an ontological definition which expresses the relationship between existing cognitive truth and eternal spirits. You know, bullshit. Listen, they passed up the lunch menu, so I urge you to the combo club with fritters.
Fritters? Awesome. Thanks, Butch.
Ladies.
Next witness.
Yes, great, magnificent, sir. The prosecution now calls Henrietta Iscariot, mother to Judas Iscariot, to the stand.
State your name, ma'am.
Henrietta Iscariot.
Yes, good day, Mrs. Iscariot.
Good day.
Yes, well, I couldn't help but notice that you're a very well-built woman. Would it be fair to say that your cup runneth over?
All Iscariots are booksome, if that's what you mean.
My meaning exactly. Oh, now then, can you recall that Judas Iscariot as an infant was prone to steal more than his fair share of milk from your deliciously well-proportioned bosom?
I can't recall that, no.
Very well, but can you call this? I take you back to the year where you were a single parent raising many children, Judas being your eldest, and the Manor family. You set him out to go fishing for food for you and his poor starving sisters. What happened next?
Do I have to answer?
Just tell the truth, man.
Well, Judas didn't come home till very late. I waited by the fire. I was worried. He was only 8. I was concerned that the Romans had detained him for shoplifting.
A shoplifter, so please the cause.
But then he came home.
Hi, Mommy.
Judas, I was so worried.
Look what I got, Mommy, a spinning top.
Judas, did you catch any fish today? Your sisters are weeping with hunger.
Weeping and waiting, sir. Weeping and waiting.
I caught 5 fish, Mommy.
But where are they?
I sold them in the market and got this spinning top. Look how it spins, Mommy.
Judas Iscariot, I am ashamed of you.
But Mommy.
Selfish boy, you will come to no good.
Selfish boy, you will come to no good. Was that your statement at the time?
He was only 8.
8! And too late! Nothing further, big sir.
Cross?
No thank you.
I wasn't asking you.
Miss Iscariot, what happened the next day?
Judas ran away from home that night. I searched for him all day. Later in the afternoon, I started following.
Hi.
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 I'm Judas. What's your name?
Matthias Gallery.
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you go home and get your spinning top, and then when you get back with your spinning top, you can play Battle of the Spinning Tops.
I don't have a spinning top.
Oh.
I wish I had a spinning top. All my friends got one except for me.
Yeah, that's rough. I used to not have one, too.
Yeah. All the kids, they call me sissy pants because I got no spinning top.
You should ask your mommy to buy you one.
I don't got a mommy.
Ask your daddy, then.
I got a daddy, but he's very stern. He doesn't believe in spinning tops, so I can never get one.
Wow.
I think I'm a sissy pants too.
No, hey, man. Don't cry.
It's just hard to get through life without a spinning top, you know?
You want to try mine?
For real?
Here.
Wow! No one in Galilee's got a spinning top like this. This is a wicked cool spinning top,
I
Judas.
picked it up myself.
Boy, oh boy, your father must really love you to buy you such a most definitely dope spinning top as this.
My father's dead.
What?
The Romans killed him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Romans, they took all our goats last month. And now we don't have no money for nothing. You've been foolish. So my father makes me go to the butcher's house for bones for my dog. But I don't have a dog, and the butcher knows I don't have a dog. But he gives me the bones because he takes pity on me. And I give them to my father, and he makes soup for us with the bones. And we eat it. It tastes really bad. My grandma says that my father's pride is wounded because he can't have no money because the Romans took our goats. And that's why everything's messed up in our can. We're spinning top of now.
What?
I better get home now. I have to be home before 6. My father's very stern.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you for letting me play with your spinning top, Judas. Maybe someday my daddy will get more goats and I can get a spinning top and I can come back over here and play spinning tops with you. We can play spinning tops and stuff because that was really fun.
The sad boy started to leave then.
Wait. Here. What? You can have it.
I can have your spinning top?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow, you saw me, Dad! Thanks, Judas!
When people ask me about my son, I tell them that story.
Thank you, Mrs. Iscariot. The witness is excused.
Not so fast, Mr. Iscariot. Your son was picked up by the Roman authorities on a charge of stealing a blind man's staff, correct? A blind man's staff that was later pawned to almost a beggar to purchase. You remember? Cotton candy in a royal blue spinning top. Correct? Is that correct, Mr.
I
Iscariot?
don't know.
Speak into the microphone!
There is no microphone.
Yes, this is true. Your Honor, we have reason to believe that the staff of the prior blind man in question was later run over by a rabid junior camel. Rest in peace. You're on with that. Nothing further.
Next witness.
Great, magnificent, and wise, sir. The prosecution now calls the uncomfortable Mother Teresa to the stand.
Name?
Did you say something?
Name?
What?
Your name, please, ma'am?
Oh, yes. 10:45. Okay.
Mother Teresa, hello, we're here.
Who is that?
It is anybody, remember me?
Oh, yes, just handsome boy.
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Speak louder, boy.
I said, how are you?
What?
I said, how are you?
Judge, Bailiff, I believe we do have a hearing device for Mother Teresa.
Get the device.
I believe you have the device, sir.
What? Here.
Ma'am, please on.
What? Oh, Jess, just thank you, giant man, Jess.
Mother Teresa, how are you?
What?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, Jess, yes.
How about now?
Jess,
How about that?
you are tricking me, no?
Yes, I was thinking. Very bad. A scandal, yes, I know.
Learning to be edified, iconic virgin, we could perhaps begin.
El-Fayoumy, contact has been established. Let's get on with it now, shall we?
Without further hesitation, forgive me that today I was simply enamored by your TV presence. I love Mother Teresa greatly. In Christian Egypt, she is a great star. I remember as a young boy, I used to don a towel in my mother's nightgown, stuck in the back streets of Carroll looking for dying things to comfort and salve. Yes. Mother Teresa, I love you really. You are the oasis. You are the light.
Do we need to take a moment here, counselor?
Perhaps we do.
5-minute recess. Adjourned.
My name is Peter. They got a basilica named after me in Rome. Which is ironic, because back in the day, if you had said the word Rome in my presence, more than likely I'd have beat you with my stick. I had a standard rule on my fishing boat. Talk about Rome, and you're asking to swim home alone. I had to have those kind of rules laid down strong, because my younger brother Drew and his friends like to waste their time talking about overthrowing Rome and the coming of the Messiah, instead of focusing on the task at hand, and I'd always be like, Look, fellas, unless your Messiah is going to come down and help us catch some fish, I suggest y'all shut the heck up and put your undivided focus on these damn nets. Then one day, Drew didn't turn up for work. They ain't come running up to me at the shore at the end of the day when I'm bringing the boat back in, talking about, this is Jesus, bro. He's the Messiah. I'm not fishing anymore. I'm just going to follow him. And this Jesus, who resembled the Messiah, about as much as I resemble the ballerina in a tutu, strides up to me and says, catch any fish today? And I says, no, I did not catch any fish today. And he says, take your boat back out to the sea, and you're going to catch some fish. So I took Jesus out with me, intending to throw his ass overboard. Then Jesus said, cast your nets wide and deep. So I did, and, well, all I can say is, I'm a damn professional commercial fisherman. No one knew the sea and its tides better than me. There were no fish out there. That's because it turns out that they were all in my net. Then Jesus said, follow me, and I'll make you a fisher of men. What I didn't know then was that I'll never see the sea again.
My name is Matthew. I was a Jewish tax collector for the empire. My job was to take the food out of your mouth and see it shipped off to Rome. Roman tax was exorbitant and non-negotiable. If you had 6 geese, I took 3. If you had a flock of sheep, I took 50%. If you had 1 sheep, I cut that sheep in half. If you had no sheep, I took a child, your child, and had him or her sold into slavery to settle your debt to the emperor. This is not a made-up story. This is history. This is fact. We were a conquered nation, and I was a traitor to my people. I was a Jew stealing from Jews. And according to our laws, I was a sinner and a traitor. I was unclean, unfit to be gazed upon. That's who I was.
I hated your ass with me.
And I looked at you, Peter, as a dumb, ignorant fisherman.
I looked at you, Matthew. Something I can't say in mixed company.
I was a scumbag.
True that.
I was a scumbag, and it was against the law to look in the eyes. Now Jesus, he looked in the eyes. That's all he did. He looked in the eyes and said, follow me. And before I knew it, I had. And before we broke bread that night, I was clean again. I was clean.
El-Fayoumy, are we ready to proceed?
Yes, absolutely. Forgive me the delay. Mother Teresa, I will not take much more of your time here, and certainly you are no need of introduction.
I don't mind.
Yes, very well, Mother. Mother Teresa, you are soon to be canonized saint, recipient for the Nobel Prize for Peace. You're from Albania, which tells me you know how to handle a firebomb. But yet, from the age of 12, you decided to serve God. At 18, you entered the convent. At 21, you left for the suburbs of Calcutta. And then soon after began ministering for the sick and dying, which you did with mercy, love, grace, and generosity for the rest of your life until the day you died, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely, yes, Mother. I call you to the stand for a special purpose.
And what is that?
I'm coming to it. Mother, your life and your subsequent canonization suggest to me you know a thing or two about life and the life of the Spirit.
I know what I know. What do you want to know?
Yes, Mother. Is there a hell?
Oh, I hope not, but I think so, yes.
Judas Iscariot, he's in hell, yes?
One can never know for sure, but it don't look good.
Mother, shouldn't you feel sorry for someone in hell?
Very sorry, Jess.
Does God feel sorry for people in hell?
More sorry than us, Jess.
But if God feels so sorry, why not bring the damned upstairs? The 3 hearts in a cart. Surely God has that power.
Boy, God can lead us anywhere, but sometimes the people, they don't want to go. And if they don't want to go, then what are you going to do?
But surely these people do not prefer to go to hell, Mother.
You'd be surprised. Do you know what despair is, boy?
Mother, illuminate me.
I will tell you what Thomas Merton, who was a very handsome boy like you, I will tell you what that boy had to say about despair. You may not notice, but I at one time in my life suffered a great spiritual darkness.
Not you, Mother.
Quiet now, boy! Yes. For many, many years, I suffered a terrible pain of loss, of God not wanting me, of God not being God, and of God not really existing. One day I confided my feelings to a friend,
one of the sisters of Loretta from Dublin, Ireland. My friend, Sister Glenna. She quoted to me Thomas Merton on the subject of despair. She said, "Despair is the ultimate development of a pride so great and so stiff-necked that it selects the absolute misery of damnation rather than accept happiness from the hands of God and acknowledge that He is above us and that we are not capable of fulfilling our destinies by ourselves." Do you understand, boy?
Can you repeat it?
Yes, sure. Despair is the ultimate development of a pride so great and so stiff-necked that it selects the absolute misery of damnation rather than accept happiness from the hands of God and acknowledge that He is above us and that we are not capable of fulfilling our destinies by ourselves.
Yes, I think I see.
Judas, he succumbed to despair. The music of God's love and grace kept playing, but he made himself hard of hearing. Like me, no? I need this earphone device to hear you. Just without it, I can hear nothing. But Judas, he threw his away. And that is very sad. But that is what he chose. And that is what happened.
But Mother, couldn't I have obtained a megaphone and shouted instructions into Judas's ear?
Boy, one must be willing to participate in one's own salvation. In order to hear, one must be willing to listen. When you turn off God, you are saying, "I know better" to you. No good, boy. No good.
No good indeed. Mother, you are vanishing tonight, and I thank you for your astute and expert testimony.
Cross?
Mother Teresa, upon receiving your Nobel Prize, did you say to the world, quote, "The biggest obstacle to global peace in the world today is abortion"?
Yes, I said that.
Do you actually believe that?
Yes, I do.
You accepted large cash donations from the Duvalier family in Haiti, correct?
Yes.
Duvalier, being a dictator who murdered and stole from his people?
He gave. I took.
Blood money?
No. Cashier's check.
I also took money from Charles Keating, the savings and loan scam
Is it red
artist.
hair and freckles, Cunningham?
My mother was a Romanian gypsy who settled in Vinegar Hills in Harlem in the 1960s.
And your father?
A local parish priest.
Got more than his palm right, did he? Right, Cunningham? I think it only fair at this juncture to tell you some things about myself. Things that may perhaps inspire you to take your little mission elsewhere. For example, I strongly dislike tapioca pudding.
Tapioca is the worst, I spit on.
Sit down! But even more than tapioca, Cunningham, I dislike the following. Defense attorneys as a rule, half-breeds in general, and Judas Iscariot is anything other than a cautionary tale. Now that a problem for you?
No.
You ever met God, Cunningham?
I don't know that I believe in God.
You just handed me a writ signed by him, and yet you don't know if you believe?
Correct.
Well, what if God were to appear to you, Cunningham? Just one day, boom, God. White beard, flowing robe, the whole rack of land.
Your Honor.
What if you were to go home tonight, Cunningham, and Jesus Christ were to greet you at your door with a dozen Krispy Kremes and a quart of cold milk and say, "Cunningham, Fabiana, it's me. I really am that thing you've always feared more than doubted." What would you
Your
do?
Honor.
And what if you let him in, Cunningham? And you sat down with the man for just say 3 minutes. And you can touch him and inspect him and interrogate him all you want. And have him do miracles and tell you the exact story of your life. And you ended up convinced. Convinced, Cunningham. Wiping away tears of joy and relief on your living room couch. If he proved it to you, Cunningham, would you believe then?
Well, if he proved it to me, then I suppose I would have to.
After only 3 minutes?
But that would never happen.
Cunningham, you're the cynical, faithless spawn of a crackpot gypsy and a defrocked Nick. Yet you just told me Jesus would have you on your knees in 3 minutes. So consider this. Your friend Judas, he had Jesus for 3 years. Think about that, Cunningham. 3 years in the foxhole with the best friend you ever had. And he shot him in the back for a pack of cools. Think what that says about the essential character of the man. Now go home and stir that in your wee gypsy teapot. Petitions invalid, motion denied. Next case.
You're a genius. I'm a rat.
It's signed by God.
Yeah, but it ain't signed by your client now, is it?
My client is catatonic. He's incapable of signing.
If he's catatonic, then how do you know he wants to appeal in the first place?
Who wouldn't want to appeal eternal damnation?
Someone who was aware of his own self-inflicted erosion of the capacity to be filled by grace? Someone too prideful to ask for forgiveness, even in the face of the fiery furnace? Or maybe he don't bother asking, because he knows he don't deserve it.
Your Honor, the only one who needs forgiveness is the one who doesn't deserve it.
Then let him ask.
I'm asking for him!
Out of my courtroom, sister, and may God have mercy on your blasted, arrogant soul. Now get thee back uptown, woman. Stop your rabble rousing and get humble, because you ain't going to get to heaven by trying to dismantle the natural order of things that the good Lord has so thoughtfully put together.
Your Honor, are you a citizen of heaven?
Bailiff, remove this woman.
You live here with us. You know no more about God's law than anybody else in this court.
My papers are pending. I'll be up there any day now.
Your papers have been pending since 1864, Your Honor. That's 140 years.
If there's an insinuation at the end of that statement, Cunningham, I suggest you don't make it.
It's not an insinuation, Your Honor, but a question. If the truth really does set us free, then what is it that is progressively precluding your capacity to respond to the call of that truth? Because 140 years suggests to me you are not moving closer, but farther and farther away from it every day.
What the hell does Judas Iscariot have to do with my truth, Cunningham? I didn't hang myself from some olive branch.
Not from an olive branch, but on the battlefield. Northern Georgia, 1864. And the tree? Oak, I believe. Your Honor, I have to wonder what your honest answer will be when you are someday asked how different you are now from that day when you died.
Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. That work for you?
It does.
Put it on the docket. Just write it down. Anything else, Fabiana, Aziza, Cunningham?
No, Your Honor.
Next fucking case.
Fear not, your grace. I shall slay this foreign woman as the crocodile slays a one-legged newt.
Next case, next case, next case, next case.
Very little is actually known about Judas Iscariot. Oh, this is my homegirl Loretta. Down on Earth, she's currently on life support.
Hi, hello.
So did they figure out whether you're coming or going yet?
Not really. Any day now, they say.
Say, Loretta, you smoke cigarettes?
Well, not unconscious on a respirator.
Yeah, but do you got one for me?
Maybe in my clutch. Oh, here.
Shit. Oh, snap, Newports. Oh, you my girl now. So anyways, about Judas. Not a lot is actually known except he was chosen to be an apostle, he betrayed Jesus, and then he hung himself. Not a lot to go on since we're meant to rely on facts.
You know, I didn't know who. Wait, can I say this?
Go ahead.
Well, when I was a little girl, my drunk Uncle Cunningham, he used to like to go around saying, I believe because it is impossible. It is certain because it is impossible.
What do you mean by that?
No clue. But I think...
Ladies, we're back.
Wait, hold up. That's Butch Honeywell. And unlike Loretta, he's definitely dead. And also unlike Loretta, he's got no interest in figuring that out. So Butch, did I miss anything in there?
Oh, just the essential paradox of a man. How he refused to juxtapose the absolute to the relative, and some other such about paradox being an ontological definition which expresses the relationship between existing cognitive truth and eternal spirit. You know, bullshit. Listen, they passed out the lunch menu, so I ordered you two the combo club with fritters.
Awesome. Thanks, Butch.
Ladies?
Next witness.
Yes, sir. Great, magnificent, sir. The prosecution now calls Henrietta Iscariot, mother to Judas Iscariot, to the stand.
State your name, ma'am.
Henrietta Iscariot.
Yes, good day, Mrs. Iscariot.
Good day.
Yes, but I couldn't help but notice that you are a very well-built woman. Would it be fair to say that your cup runneth over?
All Iscariots are books, if that's what you mean.
My meaning exactly. Now that Can you recall that Judas Iscariot as an infant was prone to steal more than his fair share of milk from your deliciously well-proportioned bosom?
I can't recall that. No.
Very well. But can you recall this? I take you back to your age. You were single parents raising many children, Judas being your eldest, and the man of the family. You set about to go fishing for food for you and his port-stopping sisters. What happened next?
Do I have to answer?
Just tell the truth, man.
Judas didn't come home till very late. I waited by the fire. I was worried. He was only 8. I was concerned that the Romans had detained him for shoplifting.
A shoplifter, so please the court!
But then he came home.
Hi, Mommy.
Judas, I was so worried.
Look what I got, Mommy. A spinning top.
Judas, did you catch any fish today? Your sisters are weeping with hunger.
Weeping, you're so weeping and wailing.
I caught 5 fish, Mommy.
But where are they?
I sold them in the market and got the spinning top. Look how it spins, Mommy.
Judas Iscariot, I am ashamed of you.
But, Mommy.
Selfish boy, you will come to no good.
Selfish boy, you will come to no good. Was that your statement at the time?
He was only 8.
8 ain't too late! Nothing further, great sir.
Ross,
No thank you.
I wasn't asking you.
Mrs. Iscariot, what happened the next day?
Judas ran away from home that night. I searched for him all day. Later in the afternoon, I observed the phone.
Hi.
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 My name's Judas. What's yours?
Matthias of Galilee.
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you go home and get your spinning top, and then when you get back with your spinning top, we can play Battle of the Spinning Tops.
I don't got a spinning top.
Oh.
I wish I had one. All my friends got one except for me.
Yeah, that's rough. I used to not have one, too.
Yeah. All the kids, they call me sissy pants because I got no spinning top.
So that's your mom gonna buy you one.
I don't got a mama.
Ask your daddy, then.
I got a daddy, but he's very stern. He doesn't believe in spinning top, so I can never get one. You probably think I'm a sissy pants, too.
No, hey, man, don't cry.
It's just hard to get through life without a spinning top, you know?
You want to try mine?
For real?
Yeah.
Wow! No one in Galilee's got a spinning top like this. This is a wicked cool spinning top, Judas!
Picked it up myself.
Boy, oh boy, your father must really love you to buy you such a most definitely dope spinning top as this.
My father's dead.
What?
The Romans killed him.
Yeah? Well, the Romans, they took all our goats last month, and now we don't have no money for nothing, even food, so my father makes me go to the butcher to ask bones for my dog. But I don't have a dog, and the butcher knows that I don't have a dog, but he gives me the bones because he takes pity on me. I give them to my father. He makes soup for us with the bones that we eat, and it tastes really bad. And my grandma says my father because the Romans took our goats, and that's why everything is messed up, and I can't have no spinning top right now. Oh,
What?
I better get home now. I have to be home before 6. My father's very stern.
Okay.
Oh, thank you for letting me play with your spinning top, Judas. Maybe someday my daddy will get more goats, and I can get a spinning top, and I can come back over here and play spinning tops with you. We can play spinning tops and stuff, because that was really fun.
The sad boy started to leave then.
Wait. Here.
What?
You can have it.
I can have your spinning top?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Wowie, zowie, dang! Thanks, Judas!
When people ask me about my son, I tell them that story.
Thank you, Mrs. Iscariot. The witness is excused.
Not so fast, Mrs. Iscariot. Your son was later picked up by the Roman authorities on the charge of stealing a blind man's staff, correct? A blind man's staff they later pawned to him as a favor to purchase? Cotton candy in a royal blue spinning top. Is that correct? Is that correct, Mrs.
I
Iscariot?
don't know.
Speak into the microphone!
There is no microphone.
This is true. Your Honor, we have reason to believe that the staff-deprived blind man in question was later run over by a rabid Judas Campbell in the destiny. No further questions.
Next witness.
Great wise sirs, the prosecution now calls the uncomfortable Margareta to the stand. Mother Teresa, hello, over here.
Who is that?
It is I, Mother. Remember me?
Oh, just handsome boy.
Yes, Mother. Yes.
Yes.
How are you?
Speak loudly, boy.
I said, how are you?
What?
I said, how are you?
Judge, Bailiff, I believe we do have a hearing device for Mother Teresa.
Get the device.
I believe you have the device, sir.
What? Here.
Man, put these on.
What? Oh, cheers. Thank you, giant man. Cheers.
Mother Teresa, can you hear me now?
Cheers.
How about now?
Cheers.
How about that?
You are tricking me, no?
Yes, I was thinking. Very bad. A scandal, yes, I know.
Learning of beatified iconic version, perhaps begin.
El-Fayoumy, contact has been established. Let's get on with it now, shall we?
Without further hesitation, Grace, forgive me the delay. I was simply enamored by your beatific presence. I love Mother Teresa, great one. In Christian Egypt, she is a great star. I remember as a young boy, I used to don a towel in my mother's nightgown, stuck in the back seats of Carroll looking for dying things to comfort and sad. Mother Teresa, I love you really. You're the oasis. You are the light.
We need to take a moment here, counselor. 5-minute recess. Adjourned.
My name is Peter. They got a basilica named after me in Rome. Which is ironic, because back in the day, if you even said the word Rome in my presence, more than likely I'd have beat you with my stick. I had a standard rule on my fishing boat. Talk about Rome, and you're asking to swim home alone. I had to have those kind of rules laid down strong, because my younger brother Drew and his friends like to waste their time talking about overthrowing Rome and the coming of the Messiah, instead of focusing on the task at hand. And I'd always be like, look, fellas, unless your Messiah is going to come down and help us catch some fish, I suggest y'all shut the heck up and put your undivided focus on these damn nets. Then one day, Drew didn't turn up for work. Then he come running up to me at the end of the day at the shore when I'm bringing the boat back in, talking about, this is Jesus, bro. He's the Messiah. I'm not fishing anymore. I'm just going to follow him. And this Jesus, who resembled the Messiah about as much as I resemble the ballerina in the tutu, strides up to me and says, catch any fish today? And I says, no, I did not catch any fish today. And he says, take your boat back out to the sea, and you're going to catch some fish. So I took Jesus out with me, intending to throw his ass overboard. But then he says, cast your nets wide and deep. So I did. And, well, all I can say is I'm a damn professional commercial fisherman. No one knew the sea and its tides better than me. There were no fish out there. That's because it turns out that they were all in my net. Then Jesus said, follow me, and I'll make you a fisher of men. What I didn't know then was that I'll never see the sea again.
My name's Matthew. I was a Jewish tax collector for the empire. My job was to take the food out of your mouth and see it shipped off to Rome. Roman tax was exorbitant and non-negotiable. If you had 6 geese, I took 3. If you had a flock of sheep, I took 50%. If you had 1 sheep, I cut that sheep in half. If you had no sheep, I took a child, your child, and had him or her sold into slavery to settle your debt to the emperor. This is not a made-up story. This is history. This is fact. We were a conquered nation, and I was a traitor to my people. I was a Jew stealing from Jews. According to our laws, I was a sinner and a traitor. I was unclean, unfit to be gazed upon. That's all it was.
I hated your ass for looking at me.
And I looked at you, Peter, as a dumb, ignorant fisherman.
And I looked at you, Matthew. Something I can't say in mixed company.
I was a scumbag.
True that.
I was a scumbag, and it was against the law to look in the eyes. Now Jesus, he looked me in the eyes. That's all he did. He looked me in the eyes and said, "Follow me." And before I knew it, I had. And before he broke bread that night, I was clean again. I was clean.
El-Fayoumy, are we ready to proceed?
Absolutely. Forgive me the delay. Mother Teresa, I will not take much more of your time here, and certainly you are no need of introduction.
I don't mind.
Very well. Mother, you are soon to be canonized saint, a recipient for the Nobel Prize for Peace. You're from Albania, which tells me you know how to handle a firearm. But yet from the age of 12 you decided to serve God. At 18 you entered the convent. At 21 you left for the slums of Caputo. And then soon after began ministering for the sick and dying, which you did with mercy, love, grace, and generosity for the rest of your life until the day you died, correct?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely yes, Mother. Now then, Mother, I call you to the stand for a special purpose.
And what is that?
I'm coming to it. Mother, your life and your subsequent canonization suggest to me that you know a thing or two about God and the life of the Spirit.
I know what I know. What do you want to know?
Yes, Mother. Is there a hell?
Oh, I hope not, but I think so, Jess.
Judas Iscariot, he's in hell, yes?
One can never know for sure, but it don't look good.
Mother, shouldn't we feel sorry for someone in hell?
Oh, very sorry, Jess.
Does God feel sorry for people in hell?
More sorry than us, Jess.
But if God feels so sorry, why didn't he bring the damned upstairs? 3 hearts in a God, correct? Surely God has that power.
Boy, God can lead us anywhere, but sometimes the people, they don't want to go. And if they don't want to go, then what are you going to do?
But surely these people do not prefer to go to hell.
You would be surprised. Do you know what despair is, boy?
Mother, illuminate me.
I will tell you what Thomas Martin, who was a very handsome boy like you, I will tell you what that boy had to say about despair. You may not know this, but I at one time in my life suffered a great spiritual darkness.
Mother, not you.
Quiet now, boy! Yes. For many, many years, I suffered a terrible pain of loss, of God not wanting me, of God not being God, and of God not really existing. One day, I confided my feelings to a friend, one of the sisters of Loretta from Dublin, Ireland, my friend, Sister Galena. She quoted to me Thomas Martin on the subject of despair. She said, "Despair is the ultimate development of a pride so great and so stiff-necked that it selects the absolute misery of damnation rather than accept happiness from the hands of God, and acknowledge that God is above us and that we are not capable of fulfilling our destinies by ourselves." Do you understand, boy?
Can you repeat it?
Just sure. Despair is the ultimate development of a pride so great and so stiff-necked that it selects the absolute misery of damnation rather than accept happiness from the hands of God and acknowledge that He is above us and that we are not capable of fulfilling our destinies by ourselves.
I think I see now.
Judas, he succumbed to despair. The music of God's love and grace kept playing, but he made himself hard of hearing, like me, no? I need this earphone device to hear you, just without it I can know you're not. But Judas, he threw his away, and that is very sad. But that is what he chose, and that is what happened.
Mother, couldn't that God simply obtain a megaphone and shout instructions to the Judas' ear?
One must be willing to participate in one's own salvation. In order to hear, one must be willing to listen. When you turn off God, you are saying, "I know better than you." No good, boy. No good.
No good indeed. But Mother, you are ravishing light, and I want to thank you for your astute and expert testimony.
Cross?
Mother Teresa, upon receiving your Nobel Prize, did you say to the world, quote, "The biggest obstacle to global peace in the world today is abortion"?
Yes, I said that.
Do you actually believe that?
Yes, I do.
You accepted large cash donations from the Duvalier family in Haiti, correct?
Yes.
Duvalier being a dictator who murdered and stole from his people.
He gave, I took.
Blood money.
No. Cashier's check.
You also took money from Charles Kings, the savings and loan scam artist who robbed American citizens billions of dollars.
For the poor, I took. You have $5? I'll take from you too.
You opposed the Vatican II reforms, which, among other things, called for a long overdue condemnation of taking a stand against anti-Semitism. Did you oppose Vatican II, Mother Teresa?
Yes.
You opposed Vatican II, blamed the world of wars on abortion, and took blood money from murderers and thieves. Now, I'm having trouble understanding why we're supposed to consider you an expert on anything having to do with the spirit.
Oh, Jess?
Yes,
Then you better figure it out.
I have had 2 abortions, Mother Teresa. What do you think about that?
I will pray for you and your children.
I don't have any children.
Not anymore. And that's terrible.
Mother Teresa, if abortion is so terrible, then how come I'm not in hell?
I don't know. Did anybody tell you you weren't?
Must be nice to have all the answers.
Must be hard to have only questions.
I can live with my questions, Mother Teresa. But with all due respect, if you can live with those answers, then I would say your place is not in heaven with the saints, but with the rest of the dinosaurs living in the Stone Age. Nothing further.
Mother Teresa, I wonder if you join me in wondering. And who the hell is the first guy to think thinking about that too?
Boy, it's all right. Everybody want to say something.
Yes.
Nobody want to listen nothing.
Yes, yeah. This is correct. And I'm not well struck. Now let's go back now and address some of the
I
outlandish
go
allegations.
now.
But I'm not finished.
I go now.
As you wish, mother. I think we should all embrace on in our memories.
Boy,
Yes, mother.
you give this earphone device to a girl like this, Jess. Maybe she hears something that make her head not hurt no more.
There's nothing wrong with my head.
Cunningham, stand down.
Nice boy. Handsome boy.
Next witness.
Your Honor, defense calls Simon the Zealot to the stand.
Name?
Simon the Zealot.
You were one of the 12 Apostles, Simon, correct?
Yeah.
And you were a Zealot.
Yeah.
Was Judas Iscariot a Zealot?
Well, he didn't go to the meetings or nothing, but yeah, he was pretty much a zealot if you ask me.
Zealots being Jews seeking an end to the violent oppression of the Roman occupation?
Actually, not exactly, no.
Are you saying that they were in favor of the occupation?
No, not at all. We hated the Romans. Absolutely, we wanted their pagan asses to hit the curb running and bloody, but we was also opposed to any Gentiles in Palestine, Greek, Roman, whoever. What our zealots was really about was promoting a strict adherence to the Mosaic law.
Mosaic law being?
The law of Moses, the Torah, that was the whole bag right there, miss. Get rid of the bad seeds and unite the people under the holy law of God. Basically, we were the street version of Caiaphas the elder, except we had knives and shit, and we thought Caiaphas was soft.
Soft how?
With the Romans. He was a bit of a politician, you know.
And what was life like under Roman rule?
Where are you from, miss?
New York.
Okay. Imagine New York was taken over by like violent devil-worshipping cannibals who spit on your laws, stole all your money, took your women and children as slaves and put giant swastikas on all your bridges, tunnels, libraries, and civic institutions. And anybody that complained about it down there only picked a piece of wood. Left in Times Square to be eaten by rats and shit on by pigeons until the weight of their bodies asphyxiated them to death. That's what it was like.
You thought Jesus was going to change that, didn't you?
We all did.
Change it how?
Throw them out. That's what the Messiah was supposed to do.
But he didn't do that, did he?
Nah.
And yet you knew he was capable of it. You saw him perform miracles, raise people from the dead.
It was a bit of a conundrum, yeah.
Were you at the disturbance at the temple?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
You kidding? I loved it. Judas too, we all did. We thought it was on, you know?
On meaning?
The beginning of the revolution?
But it wasn't, was it?
Nah.
What happened after the disturbance at the temple?
Jesus had his whole retreat to this house and he was like, I'm gonna die soon, so let's just chill.
Sounded very disappointing.
It was confusing, I mean, whacked out shit, man. 1 minute Jesus is beating infidels down, and I'm talking fists and whips. Jesus was whipping ass, knocking out teeth, screaming he's gonna tear down the temple. The next minute, he's all passive, and we were all like, we invested 3 years in this guy, and now he's gonna just lay down? Didn't seem to make no sense.
Simon, why do you think Judas turned Jesus into the authorities?
Personally, I think Judas is trying to throw Jesus into the deep end of the pool, make him swim.
Judas was testing Jesus?
Not testing, because we all knew Jesus had man skills past the test.
What then?
Listen, I knew Judas pretty good. We was pretty tight on account of, our politics and whatnot. What I believe is this. Judas knew that if the Romans grabbed up Jesus, that Jesus would have to act.
Act meaning.
Meaning act. Get it on and start kicking ass like he was supposed to. Emancipation was our birthright. That's what the Messiah was there for. I think, personally, that Judas did what he did to help Jesus realize his destiny and fulfill his mission.
Judas tried to help Jesus?
I believe so, yes.
Thank you.
Judas was the helper, right?
Yeah.
Just there to lend a helping hand, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, I think you're correct on this one. Because for me, if my best friend was to betray me and sell me up for a roll of quarters, causing me to be beaten, whipped, mangled, gouged, then strung up and left to be baked by the hot Judas sun, until I resemble a bearded up faded strengthfooter, then why yes, my first thought as I bled to death and gasped for air would be, wait, well that Judas, what a helpful guy. I must remember to send him the thank you note. Simon the Zealot, let us talk dirty. Judas was your friend, correct?
Yeah.
You both saw it the same way.
Yeah.
Shared the same opinions.
Yeah.
Had the same beliefs.
Yeah.
Wanted the same things.
Yeah.
Wanted them desperately.
Yeah.
Then why is it that did you not do what Judas did? If you believe what you believed and saw what you saw, why didn't you join Judas or turn Jesus in on your own? Can you explain this?
I don't know.
Protecting a friend. That is honorable indeed. Jesus never said his mission as Messiah was to overthrow the Romans, did he?
Not exactly, no.
But you wanted it to be the mission. You even thought it was the mission. But it wasn't really the mission, now was it?
I guess not.
Then how is it that you came to understand that violence wasn't part of Jesus' mission, but Judas never did?
I couldn't say.
Answer me this. How was your inner life like before you met Jesus of Nazareth? And I don't think I need to advise you to be honest here.
No. I was consumed with anger. Jesus, he saved my life.
Man of zeal. Final question. Do you believe, as the Bible says, that God created man in his own image?
I did.
Of course you do. Of course. And there, my zealous friend, lies the answer to one of my previous questions. I pointed the difference between you and Judas Iscariot. You accepted that you were created in God's image. Whereas Judas Iscariot, he sought out to create God in his own image, as an earthly avenger, which was not God's way. And even though you were scared, Zealot, even though you were angry, confused, and hurt, you still chose to obey God, didn't you?
I guess I got lucky.
Luck? Luck indeed. Simon, there's something beautiful about you. And that is your modesty. You are a God-fearing man. Go now, be free.
Jesus never proclaimed himself to be God, Simon, correct?
Nah, he never did.
What did Jesus say to Judas at the Last Supper?
He said, do what you gotta do.
Sounds like Jesus approved.
Maybe.
But if you were Judas, Simon, and doing what you had to do ended up getting you thrown into hell to live in infamy, misery, and perpetuity, if you were Judas, Simon, wouldn't you have kinda maybe wished Jesus had said something else instead?
Yeah, Counsel, I very much would have.
Wouldn't it kind of make you feel like you got fucked?
Objection! Language! A foul mouth is a dirty bird!
I withdraw the question.
Thank you, Simon.
Next witness.
Yes, most reverend Senor, with your magisterial permission, the prosecution now calls Satan, Prince of Darkness, to the stand.
Name?
Fabiana and Aziza Cunningham, right?
Lou.
I've been keeping the light on for you, Cunningham.
Come on now, Lou. Why don't you take your seat and we can get started here?
You never change, Frank, do you?
I suppose I don't.
Say, how's the little mean on the girls doing?
I wouldn't know. Now park your caboose in that chassis if you would, please.
Certainly, my apologies. Fire away. Sorry.
Bailiff!
I was helping the elderly, sir.
Let's just proceed. El-Fayoumy, proceed.
How are you today, Satan?
Long night, but no regrets.
A big party with the decadent and debauched?
Got this
Oh,
show.
no, very good.
I swear I could barely make it through my double session Pilates this morning.
Well, you're very good, sincerely saying you have an excellent physique.
As do you.
Oh, thank you. I have make exercises. Anyway, so no horns and tails today, Prince of Evil?
No.
At the dry cleaners, I suppose?
Yes.
Well, claimer of the dam, I have to say that your candor is quite refreshing.
As is yours.
Oh, thank you. In that jacket, Satan really is smart.
You like this?
Yes, beautiful. Armani?
Gucci.
Gucci! See? And the trousers, they put you through?
Yeah.
Let's begin then, shall we?
I am at your service,
I appreciate that.
and I appreciate that.
Excellent. So, Doctor, let's begin. Did you have any conversation with Judas Iscariot prior to setting out to Jesus Christ?
No, I did not.
Are you sure of that?
Quite sure, yes.
Never entered into him, as I believe St. Luke's Gospel puts it?
If I'd entered Mr. Iscariot, you would have felt my considerable presence, if you know what I mean.
Yes. You and Jimmy Wood.
Yes, Jimmy.
I heard the rumors. It'd be only safe to say that the devil didn't make him do it.
I mean, unless, of course, there's some other devil or anything I don't know.
No, other devil. No, but it'd be funny saying, but let's be quite clear. Be serious now. You did nothing. Say nothing to sway Judas Iscariot about betraying his leader and Messiah, Jesus of Nazareth, Prince of Peace.
Honestly, I didn't have to. Judas was a gimme. It happened like that.
A gimme. Yes, a bad seed.
Yes.
Well, how about after the deadly deed? Did you speak the Savior betrayers then?
Yes, I did.
Care to share?
Certainly.
I appeared to Mr. Iscariot at Bathsheba's bar in Grove shortly after the night in question. I was actually there for a guy named Abdul-Mazid He never showed. When I encountered Mr. Iscariot, it appeared he had taken full advantage of the happy hour. Hello, friend. How are you this evening?
How am I this evening? What are you, a fucking maitre d' man?
No, I'm Clementine of Cappadocia.
Yeah? Well, why don't you go fuck your mother there, Cappadocia, okay?
It's pronounced Docia.
What?
Cappadocia.
Well, let me ask you something there, Cappadocia. Do I look like someone who gives a flying fuck about where the fuck you're from?
I'm sorry.
Sorry don't mean shit, Dick. Take all the sorries in the world, pile them one on top of the other, and what do you got? Big pile of fucking nothing is what you got.
You're right.
You want to do something about it?
No, sir.
Then go fuck your mother and leave me the fuck alone.
I will. Thank you.
Hey, where are you going?
You seem like you wanted to be left alone.
Why would I seem that way? What are you saying? I look like some kind of lone wolf? Like a fucking piranha, bro?
Do you mean pariah?
I mean what I mean. You like this letter?
It's quite nice.
Bought it today, man. Expensive shit, but got it like that.
Well, you seem like a man of wealth and substance. I admire that.
Well, in substance. Don't push it. So what's your name, man?
Clementine. Clementine of Cappadocia?
Clementine, is that a girl's name?
Not in Cappadocia.
Well, it is here, bro. You sure you ain't a girl, man?
Quite sure, yeah.
Well, I'm Judas. Judas Iscariot. You ever heard of me?
Nope.
You've never heard of me?
From out of town.
You don't get around much, do you, Clementine? So where about you from, man? Egypt?
Cappadocia.
That's in Egypt, though, right?
No, Cappadocia is in Cappadocia.
I dig your pyramids, man. And the Sphinx? Hey, bartender, more of that Mesopotamian wine for my Nubian friend. And some dating figs, too. You smoke opium? Clam? And some opium, bartender, the good stuff.
You seem like a man on a mission.
Took this girl to a puppet show today, man.
Yeah, how was it?
Fucking suck. Puppets are bullshit, you know?
We burned puppets in Cappadocia.
And people got the right idea over there. Yeah, that pharaoh was a smart man. Yeah, man. Hey, Clem. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, this is nice. What is it, silk?
You like this? From Cappadocia.
Fucking Cappadocian silk, alright.
You know, your shirt's quite nice, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's really nice. Yeah, it's been a while since I heard something nice. That's really nice, bro. Hey, if I told you something corny, would you think that I was like a dick?
Not at all.
I'm kind of mildly afraid of going to hell.
Why?
Minor incident last night. A miscalculation on my part, nothing serious.
Well, apparently hell as an eternal destination is vastly underrated.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, hell is just the absence of God. If you're looking for a good time, that's not a bad thing. You want to play the lute and sing Mary Chapin Carpenter? Well, that's what heaven's for. You want to rock? Well, apparently hell's the venue.
Are there like girls down there?
Not really. But hey, I hear they're importing them from developing nations on the weekends. But I wouldn't worry about going to hell if I were you.
Even if I did something perhaps a little controversial?
God understands.
Yeah, but don't choices have consequences?
Do you really think we have a choice?
Don't we?
Did you pass the disgusting fucking leper out there?
Who, Freddy?
Yeah, Freddy. Think he had a choice, Freddy? Can't scratch his balls for fear of pulling out one of his testes? Well, what's his name from the Old Testament? Job.
Do you think he had a choice? You think if he could, he would have been like, please, God, fucking stop?
Yeah, but Joe did say that.
Yes, he did. What happened next? God kept right on fucking with him until Joe made the only choice left, which was to spread his wrinkly ass cheeks wider than the Red Sea till God got finished drilling him for oil.
I guess. But say, never mind.
What?
It's not important.
Come on.
Say, what if someone were to betray, for example, the Messiah?
You mean the Messiah?
Yeah. Say some idiot had the choice to either betray the Messiah or not betray him, and he chose to betray him.
Couldn't say, man.
I'd say the guy's fucked, right?
Could not say.
Come on, Clement, I'm just asking.
Okay, so if this guy
This is some
was...
hypo-theoretical guy we're talking here, right?
Right. If this guy were to betray the Messiah, well, I guess it would be better if he had never been born.
Never been born?
Man, you
It's
asked.
a fucking heavy trip, man. That's really fucking heavy.
I want some more.
That's really heavy, bro.
Hey, bartender, I want 2 barrels of wine and a hooker menu. You okay?
Clems, man, you know I haven't been laid in over 3 years. Can you believe that? A guy like me.
3 years?
I wasted my prime, man. And then I wasted my prime after my prime.
Well, I bet you'll get fucked tonight.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I want another drink. Tonight I'm gonna drink this fucking bar.
Hey, Judas. Have you heard of this Jesus of Nazareth guy?
Jesus of Nazareth?
Yeah, I heard he's some kind of somebody.
Some kind of somebody?
Just what I heard.
Fuck that guy, man. He's a bitch.
Fuck that guy, he's a bitch! Nothing further, big son!
Lou, stick around.
I know the drill.
Meal break, 15 minutes.
Free for lunch?
Hey yo, this is Mary Mac. She's the only bitch I let come with me up here. Tell them what you gotta say.
My name is Mary of Magdala. I was a disciple of Jesus. I was present at the crucifixion, and I was the first person to hear to after the resurrection.
Bitch got clout!
I was the founder of the Christian faith, and I was known for my ability in times of difficulty to be able to turn the hearts of the apostles towards the good.
The good.
Some people think I was a whore.
Misogynist bitches.
Some people think that Jesus was my husband.
Feminatic bitches.
I was not a whore.
Pimp up, hold down!
I was an unmarried woman in a town of ill repute.
Ill repute.
And also, I was not the wife of Jesus either.
Still love ya!
But I am pretty sure that I was his best friend. We shared an intimacy that I can't put to words except to say that we saw into each other's hearts and were in love with what we found.
Love.
I also knew Judas Iscariot very well.
Gun stuff.
Out of the 12, he was the most moody and the most impetuous, and he was my favorite.
Tupac.
And in some ways, I think he was Jesus' favorite too. Judas was almost an alter ego of Jesus. He was the shadow of Jesus' light. He was the sour to the sweet and the cool to the warm. They often walked together, more often than not arguing. No one could get a rise out of Jesus like Judas could. I can remember times when Jesus emerged from an argument with Judas positively furious, shaking his head wildly, snorting and clicking his teeth, red-faced with exasperation. And he would tell me what they had been fighting about, still agitated, but inevitably he would end up staring off in his face, sighing, smiling. I think that if someone were to say that Judas was good for Jesus, they would not be mistaken.
Not mistaken.
When I think of Judas, my heart breaks.
But Mary Max, if we are all eternal, and if the human life is the first mile in a billion, do you honestly believe that God could abandon any motherfucker so soon in the journey?
I don't know. Jesus never talks about it. That's how I know his heart hurts worse than mine.
Next witness.
The honor defense calls Sigmund Freud.
Dr. Sigmund Freud.
Dr. Freud, would it be accurate to say that you qualify as an expert in the field of modern psychiatry?
Fräulein, I am modern psychiatry.
Objection, Your Honor. When is this boasting?
Overruled.
But a boasting, Your Honor, is distasteful, really.
Sit down, El-Fayoumy.
I nudge to obey you, Grace, but let the record reflect that the prosecution had great reservations about this man alleged so-called standing as a psychiatric expert.
Perhaps a quick jaunt to London for our leisurely perusal through the standard edition of the complete psychological works of Sigmund Freud, volumes 1 through 24, would set your mind at ease?
Perhaps a few words, Sigmund.
Dr. Freud, you are in fact the founder of psychoanalysis, correct?
I am.
You maintained a private practice in neuropathology for nearly half a century, is that not so?
It is.
You were on the cover of Time magazine dedicated to the greatest scientific minds of the 20th century.
I was.
Are you familiar with the case history of one Judas Iscariot?
Most certainly.
Dr. Floyd, in your expert opinion, can a suicide victim be pre-certified as psychotic?
Without question, man's instinct for self-preservation is his most supple and reflexive muscle. When that muscle fails, it is because his mind has failed. A decision to take one's own life can only be precipitated by a failure of the mind. An irrational rebellion against man's most basic instinct to endure and live. Therefore, yes, the victim of suicide must be pre-certified as, indeed, psychotic.
And would you say Judas Iscariot is a psychotic?
Without question.
And are psychotics responsible for their actions?
No, they are not. For example, say I have a bad bout of influenza. As a result of my bad influenza, I sneeze rudely, but involuntarily in your face. The next day you wake up with the same flu. Did I cause your flu? No, my flu caused your flu. I only sneezed because I was sick.
In your opinion, Dr. Freud, does Judas Iscariot belong in hell?
No, he does not.
Explain.
Suicide is a direct sign of mental illness.
But did he become mentally ill after betraying Jesus of Nazareth, or was he mentally ill to begin with?
Pre-programmed, yes. You must understand, normal people do not kill themselves, even under extreme duress.
And what would you say to people who say that Judas Iscariot brought about his own mental illness by betraying Jesus of Nazareth and getting him crucified?
I would say this. Number one, you cannot conjure or bring about mental illness. Number two, any God who would punish the mentally ill is not worth worshipping. And number three, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. The person who could have prevented this tragedy was Jesus, not Judas. He chose not to.
But isn't Judas responsible because he did what he did out of his own free will?
Fräulein, I once had a suicidal patient leap through my false floor window to her death. She exercised her free will. Did I bill her estate for the broken plate glass window she left through? Of course not. My friend, Winston Churchill, who provided me safe haven from the Nazis in 1938, likes to say, the price of greatness is responsibility. I believe firmly in taking responsibility. So, after the unfortunate woman's death, I exercised responsibility for my greatness by moving my offices to the ground floor. I should think God would have done the same.
You're a witness.
Dr. Freud, sorry for the mix-up before.
Excuse me.
So, Doctor, I must admit I'm a bit intimidated to be the midst of such greatness. After all, you are a genius, right?
Correct.
An expert.
Yes.
A big brain.
Unequivocally.
Yes, unequivocally. How it rolls off your tongue so effortlessly. Really, I'm impressed because after high school, my IQ... A little tired, aren't we, Doc? Perhaps a kilo into a fine, grey Bolivian flake will restore your pep.
Excuse me?
Cocaine, Doctor. Blow, flake, blow. She don't lie, does she, Doctor?
What?
Over a 12-year span, you consume cocaine what can only be carried by as prodigiously massive quantities, correct?
As part of my research, yes.
Research, yes. And after 12 years around the clock, Please, you finally came to the conclusion that, ingesting staggering amounts of powder up your nose was perhaps unhealthy?
I was trying to determine its medicinal value.
Is that your real nose?
You must have denied you her glass, didn't she?
I beg you to let me ask the questions, Dr. Fry.
Freud!
Oh, yes, Freud, sorry. Freud. I made a useless, didn't I? Last question, Mr. Expert Jesus, Dr. Freud. You went about atheist your life, correct?
Correct.
And then you died and found out what?
I experienced anti-Semitism as a child that prejudiced me against all religion.
Einstein experienced prejudice, but he wasn't wrong like you either, was he? My cousin Why can't count to 10 without drooling, but he wasn't wrong like you either, was he, Doctor?
Intelligence and face are two different things.
Are they really, Doctor? Because I would say you can't have one without the other, but then again, I'm not an expert genius like you are.
I had a wonderful, vibrant mind, and my intellectual curiosity was bound.
Good day, Doctor. Go blow your nose. You're excused.
Dr. Freud, you've seen people commit suicide. Yes or no?
No! So they can sometimes be tempted to murder.
Go murder an 8-ball like that.
That's enough! Next witness!
Yes, sir. Yes, with your utmost alluring and irresistibly in majesty, with your permission, the prosecution now calls legendary Hawaiian singer and popular entertainer Don Ho to the stand.
Don Ho's not dead.
Oh, well, thank God for that. In that case, the prosecution calls Caiaphas the Elder, high priest of that Sanhedrin, to the stand.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, at this time I must excuse myself from these proceedings until such time as said witness has concluded testimony. Before his ascension into the lap of the Lord, Caiaphas the Elder and I were partners in a successful chain of kosher pizza parlors in East Purgatory. For that reason, I must step down. Bailiff, get your ass over there, put on those glasses, and adjudicate. Pronto. Proceed.
Fabiana, may I borrow a pen?
Only if I can shove it through your eye.
How can I prove my sincerity to you, even though you're always here and I'm always here? Still, I think about you when you aren't here, even though you're always here.
Next witness, please.
Yes, wait. Later we shall discuss. Julius the bailiff, correct? May I call you Julius?
All right.
How about Julius?
Yes.
So tell me, Jay, shall we commence?
That'd be good.
Yes, oh wise Jay, the prosecution now calls Caiaphas the Elder, high priest of the Sanhedrin, to the stand. Caiaphas the Elder, hello to you.
Hello.
Shalom, as it were.
Hello.
Yes, Caiaphas the Elder, perhaps you can clear this up for me. Is there a Caiaphas the Younger?
No.
And yet you are the Elder.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Well, thank you. My cousin Barbo here owes me $10 now. Anyways, I tried together. It is said in the Bible that Judas Iscariot made an approach to you, a dark and nefarious approach to offer up the location of Jesus of Nazareth, which was to return to you in the authorities, correct?
Correct?
Caiaphas, are you saying it was Judas Iscariot that approached you, and not the other way around?
Yes.
Because I saw a film once, Caiaphas, where it was you who approached him.
It was Judas Iscariot who approached me at the temple, not the other way around.
Yes, Caiaphas, I know, but I must ask you again, even though your statement is indeed confirmed by all four Gospels, I must ask you again. Did you approach Judas Iscariot about betraying his leader Messiah, Jesus of Nazareth?
I did not.
Why didn't you? Jesus was a big head to you, no? You were legitimately concerned that the hijinks of Jesus would cause an uprising and a Russian Roman massacre to the Jewish people of retribution, weren't you?
I was.
Then why didn't you reach out and touch someone, Caiaphas?
You are asking me why I didn't try to approach one of the apostles initially?
Yes.
I didn't think it would work.
Why not?
There was an old rabbinical saying, let them kill you, but do not cross the line. During my 18-year reign as head of the Sanhedrin and guardian of the temple, I dealt with countless messiahs, zealots, rebels, and fanatical believers. My experience in these matters taught me they get killed, yes, But as a rule, they do not cross the line.
Cross the line. This means what?
To betray your ideals, your conscience, the law.
Judas Iscariot, he crossed the line, didn't he?
He did.
He betrayed the ideal in betraying Jesus, the rabbinical ideal. He crossed the line.
Correct.
Did you admire that?
No, I do not.
But why not? We all cross the line sometimes, don't we?
We are all capable of crossing the line. Thankfully, we do not all do it.
But really, Kaisey, what's the big deal? You cross the line, so what? You just draw yourself in a line, correct?
No, not correct.
Why not?
The line comes from God, doesn't it? The line is given. We do not create it, and thus it is not ours to modify. It is only ours to obey or betray.
I see. Kaisey, when Pontius Pilate first arrived in Judea, he visited you at the temple, did he not?
He did.
And as a show of force and might, he attempted to place symbols of Rome into your temple, which was a big desecration to your holy place of worship, wasn't it?
Yes.
It would have constituted as a worshipping of false idols, correct?
Correct.
Kaisey, when you saw Pontius Pilate attempt this, what did you say to him?
I told him that he must remove the pagan symbols.
And what did Pontius say to this?
I believe the gist of his reply was, "What are you going to do about it, Curly?"
And what did you do about it?
I knelt before him.
You begged for mercy.
No.
Grovel for forgiveness.
No! I removed my headdress, bared my throat to him, and bade him to slit it.
In other words, Kaisey, that you let him kill you, but you didn't cross the line.
I guess so, yes.
You didn't cross the line.
No.
But Judas Iscariot, he crossed the line, didn't he?
He did.
Interesting. And by the way, what was the result of your standoff with Pontius Pilate regarding the sanctity of the temple?
Pilate backed off.
You didn't put up the pagan symbols?
No.
You held the line.
Yes.
Your integrity casted him, didn't it? His little Roman balls rolling down the temple hill like well purple grapes.
I have no response to that.
As well as you shouldn't. Now, Kaisey, the last question. In Western culture, the most prized virtue is honesty. But in Eastern culture, which would include Judea at the time, in Eastern culture, the most prized virtue is loyalty. Do you agree with that hypothesis?
Counselor, there are 613 sacred laws in our Torah. Complying with these laws requires honesty and loyalty. But the most important requirement of the law is obedience to it. That is what is most prized.
Yes, but fair enough. But in your opinion, Kaisey, was Judas Iscariot loyal?
Obviously not.
Was he honest?
No.
Was he obedient?
To his own will and desires? Yes, I believe that he was.
And to service his will and desires, he crossed the line, didn't he?
He served a necessary purpose. But as a fellow Jew, I confess, he disgusted me.
Thank you. In there, that you are much more handsome in person than what they betrayed you in the silver screen.
High priest, the Sanhedrin. That was an extremely powerful and prestigious position in Judea, correct?
Correct?
In fact, except for the Roman governor and King Herod, the high priest was, in actuality, the most powerful position in all of Judea, correct?
Yes.
Would you mind looking me in the eye when you respond to a question?
My position was very important. As high priest, I maintained the sacred laws, the safety of the populace, and our traditions.
Caiaphas, is there a reason why you won't meet my gaze, or is ignoring women simply another one of the components you were charged to maintain?
Objection, Your Honor. The witness is not just a holy man, but a very holy man. The defense counsel is well aware she's a juicy proconsul in his dish, and the witness is being berated for immediately avoiding the salacious temptations under intoxicating and firm aromatic. I move the sentence. Sexy Vixen, you are warned. Excuse me, Julius. She makes my arguments bounce. Sorry.
You stated to prosecution that Judas Iscariot crossed the line and that he disgusted you, correct?
Correct?
Well then, maybe you can help me out here, because I'm a little confused. Judas handed Jesus over to you, correct?
Correct?
Then you handed him over to Pontius Pilate, correct?
I did.
Then, what exactly is the difference between you and Judas Iscariot? Because, unless I'm missing something here, I fail to see it.
Between me and Judas? Big difference.
Caiaphas, you were a rabbi and a Jew. Jesus was a rabbi and a Jew. Is it not crossing the line for one rabbi to hand over another rabbi to be killed by pagans?
Jesus was a blaspheming, seditious rabbi. I know for sure that he would be killed.
But the penalty for sedition was crucifixion.
That was the Roman charge, not mine.
Yes, your charge is blasphemy. What was the penalty for blasphemy, Caiaphas?
Your Honor, I will not sit here and be blamed for the death of Christ yet again.
No one is blaming you for the death of Christ, Caiaphas. I am simply asking you a question which I am directing you to answer now before this court. You charged Jesus with blasphemy. What was the penalty for blasphemy, Caiaphas?
Stoning or followed by hanging.
So how can you sit there and pretend that you didn't know for sure that Jesus of Nazareth would be killed?
Jesus could have easily saved himself.
Saved himself how?
By retracting his blasphemous claims. Our Torah has 613 sacred laws. I can't even count how many Jesus broke or treated with wanton disregard and disdain. He broke the laws that came from the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He violated the word of God. He violated the laws of Moses. He consorted with the unclean and women and prostitutes. He performed the miracles on the Sabbath. He proclaimed himself Messiah. He forgave sin. Who is he to forgive sin? Only God can do that.
Jesus
If that's not crossing the line, I don't know what is.
prophecies of Isaiah to the
He
letter.
was also fulfilling the prophecies in Deuteronomy which warned against false messiahs and marvel workers. It would have been one thing had he confined himself to the forests and rivers, spouting his ravings as the Baptist did, but at the great temple, I would have been derelict not to put a stop to it. He was whipping people, kicking them, threatening to destroy the temple, calling it a den of thieves. If someone did that in your St. Patrick's Cathedral, would you not arrest them?
So Judas Iscariot, who came forward in the face of this great threat, is in your eyes not a patriot, but a traitor. A traitor who, in your words, disgusted you. Why is that, Caiaphas?
Because he handed Jesus over for money.
And why did you hand Jesus over, Caiaphas?
The words and deeds of Jesus were leading towards rebellion. And the price of rebellion under Roman rule was a bloodbath, a massacre, Counselor. So I determined that it were better to have one man dead than 1,000. That's why.
I see. So you were looking out for the common Jewish man.
I was.
Were you a common Jewish man, Caiaphas?
In the eyes of God, we are all the same.
Well, how about in the eyes of the common Jewish man? You were seen as an aristocrat, weren't you?
I came from wealth.
The high temple taxes that you inflicted on your people, would you say that made you more or less popular with the common Jewish
My
man?
job
Objection, Your Honor. Dixon is bad.
Sustained.
The high temple taxes and the purification pools, where the common Jewish man was required by law to be cleansed before being permitted to enter the temple. Purification pools weren't free either, were they?
Cunningham!
No, I'll answer. The laws were the laws and the rates were the rates.
And did you have a sliding scale for the poor?
No.
So the poor, who constituted a large percentage of the common Jewish man at that time, remained impure, unclean, and denied the right of worship.
You've made your point.
No, I don't think I have. Your position, Caiaphas, did not require you to be popular with the common Jewish man, did it?
My position required me to answer to God.
Did God appoint you high priest of the Sanhedrin?
It was with God's blessing.
It was with Rome's blessing, Caiaphas. You were appointed by Rome, and for the 18 years you served, that's who you had to respond to, and that's who you were required to be popular with. And the day you showed Rome that you couldn't handle your own people was the day you've been thrown out on your ass. Isn't that true?
I belonged to God, not Rome. My job was to uphold the 613 sacred laws and to protect my temple and my people, and that's what I did.
And was not Jesus one of your own people? Whether he was the Messiah, a prophet, a holy man, or a crazy man, was he not one of your own? And was it not considered the height of treachery to betray Jewish blood to your oppressors? Come on, Caiaphas, tell us that did not prick your conscience to turn Jesus, a fellow Jew, over to the Romans. Tell us that did not prick your conscience to turn a rabbi to a certain death. Tell us, Caiaphas, at the end of the day, there was a difference in the eyes of God between what you did and what Judas Iscariot did. This is purgatory, Caiaphas. I've got all day.
In terms of result, no difference.
How about in terms of the follow-through? Judas recanted and tried to return the silver, did he not?
He did.
And did you, Caiaphas, do anything at all to try to prevent Jesus' death?
No.
And therein lies the true difference between what you did and what Judas Iscariot did. And I believe that there was a difference in the eyes of God between what you did. And yet, you personally say that he crossed the line and disgusted you. And If that's true, Caiaphas, then I wonder how you must have felt about yourself.
That's between me and God.
Well, I sure hope your God has a more forward-thinking attitude than Judas's God does. Step down, you are excused.
Caiaphas the other. Judas approached you, didn't he?
Yes.
He didn't have to, Caiaphas the other, did he?
No.
But yet he did.
Yes.
And of his own free will.
Yes.
And he accepted payment for his betrayal.
Yes.
Payment. He didn't say, Caiaphas the other, this one's a young. Keep your money, correct?
Right.
I think we all now realize the precarious position you're in, protecting your citizens from Roman reprisal.
And it makes you feel good to say that, doesn't it? After 2,000 years, persecution and vilification, you finally get around to saying, hey, we know it wasn't you and your people's fault, is that it?
Good, Caiaphas. I want you to understand.
With your case, right? I tell you what, you people call me, I come. You question, I answer. But please, never say that you realize the position I was in, because you have no idea the position I was in. And never try to excuse or forgive me, because I am not interested in your forgiveness. God's forgiveness, this interests me. Yours, I could care less. Why? Because you have no idea. The people who need forgiving, the people who perpetrated the lies and exaggerations that became sacrosanct fact and led to hatred and violence for the past 2,000 years, they are the ones who need forgiving. And not by you, but by me. Me and my people. It's the writers of the gospel who need forgiving, not me. No, sir. I know what it is to suffer. Do you? I don't think so. Julius, my best of friend.
You're very handsome, Caiaphas.
If I am, it's because God made me, not because you said so. Good day.
My name is Thomas. At the Last Supper, I was the first one to say that I would die for Jesus. And I was also the first one to head for the hills in 90 when the Romans came and arrested me. And then, when Jesus resurrected himself, I was that guy who said he wouldn't believe he was who he said he was, unless I could see with my own eyes the holes in his hands, and I could personally inspect them and touch them, as if I was some qualified medical examiner, like I was Quincy or something. But the thing is, Jesus showed them. And not only that, he let me touch them. In a ministry based entirely on the virtues of faith, he gave me proof. I had no faith, and he gave it to me for free. I don't know why I got the benefit of my doubt, and Judas didn't get any help with his. And I'm not saying this because I like the guy, because personally, I thought Judas was a bit of a jerk-off. Actually, fucking dick is more accurate. Judas was the kind of guy, at least with me, where one minute he's your friend, and the next minute he's making fun of you in front of everybody. He used to like to say that the reason Jesus had to do the miracle of the loaves and the fishes was that I had all the food when no one was looking. Stuff like that. But then other times it could be real nice. Like once, we were partnered together to go into town, to heal people, cast out demons, and, well, I had some problems that day. Everyone I tried to heal ended up getting worse. In fact, this one lady I nearly blinded, and another guy started going into convulsions. But Judas fixed it. He healed them. He really did. And that tells me that his faith was genuine. And when we got back to camp that night, he didn't tell anyone how I messed up. In fact, he said I did a good job. And I appreciated that. I mean, Jesus knew it was bullshit, but I appreciated the gesture. I thought it showed largeness on Judas's part. And the thing is, Judas was kind of a dick, but he wasn't shallow or petty. He really was pretty large. He wasn't the best, but he was far from the worst. Jesus liked him. like them a lot, in fact. Judas was right up there in the top 3 with Mary Magdalene and Peter, who, by the way, could also be a dick sometimes too. The trick with Peter was, never talk about fish. It's crazy for fish. Say something wrong about a fish and forget about it. The guy would go crazy. Anyways, some people say Judas did what he did because he was greedy. Personally, I think that's bullshit. The guy wasn't wandering around the desert for 3 years with Jesus and a bunch of ragamuffins like us because he was looking to get rich. Other people say the devil got him. Again, bullshit. Judas was loyal to a fault. 100% loyal. Judas would have taken on the devil and his entire army, one against 1,000 if he had to, and he would have done it with relish. Other people say Judas did it because he knew the ship was sinking, and he was trying to get himself a nut to have something to fall back on. Listen, Judas was not a fallback guy. He was 100% fall forward. And to me, that deserves some consideration. I was not fall forward. Not by a long shot. And neither were most of the others. Judas was a dick. But he deserves better. Just one saint's opinion.
Next witness.
Your Honor, at this time, the bench would like to introduce Exhibit A14, ancient surveillance footage of an event that occurred in 24 hours.
Let's go kick your ass!
I could see that's gonna get too
Oh,
tight!
when Pilate see this motherfucker's ass, it's gonna be like Centurion doing this time to pump ass! He's gonna kick your cattle's ass too,
And your sheep and your ass.
I'm gonna catch your grandmother's wheat check!
Oh, what's all this damn ruckus about?
Oh, hell, hey!
Is there a problem here?
Judas is trying to camp.
Hold up a second, you?
Judas Iscariot from the Jesus of Nazareth crew?
This stinky motherfucker right here!
Jesus is an innocent man, please, please,
Come
he's innocent.
on now, Judas. Them Sanjit call us what they call themselves.
Sanhedrin.
Right. Them San Jose paid you like 30 pieces of silver. Now that's 4 months' wages, boy. That ain't no chicken feed.
I made a mistake, please, you don't understand.
I understand perfectly. You told that to brother, now you trying to come here talking about it was dark. I kissed the wrong motherfucker. But we Romans, man. We do not dance that song.
He's innocent, though. Please, you don't understand.
Come on now, Judas. We don't give no good goddamn about this Jesus. He's the motherfucker talks a whole lot of shit. Everybody talks a little shit. Even I've been known to talk a little shit every once in a while. Thing is, we try to lay down no heavy charge on the Nazareth boy. We just gonna beat his ass a little. Make them Santa Claus happy for the holidays so we can all live in peace. Don't you want to live in peace, Judas? Ain't that what it's all about? I mean, after all, brother, it ain't like we looking to crucify the motherfucker.
Defense calls Pontius Pilate.
I object.
On what ground?
On the grounds of objection.
Overruled.
But it's really an objectionable. I just can't find it put to words.
Overruled.
Name?
Pontius Pilate.
Pontius Pilate.
That's right, baby.
But are you a licensed pilot?
Sit down, El-Fayoumy.
Pontius Pilate. Judas Iscariot conducted your attention against his testimony, correct?
On the advice of counsel, I cite my right to plead the Fifth Amendment.
You then told Judas Jesus was only going to receive a beatdown.
On the advice of counsel, I cite my right to plead the Fifth.
You bear responsibility for the death of Jesus Christ, not Jesus. Isn't that so?
On the advice of counsel, blah, 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 blah. Your Honor, I got a 2 p.m. tea time. Can I go now?
This won't take long, Pontius.
Judas came to your office and begged you on bended knee to take back the money and release Jesus, and you refused him. He tried to return the money, first to Sanhedrin and then to you. Do you deny that?
Hey, if I mess up as bad as that cat had, I would have tried to rebate them ducats too.
So you admit Judas did try?
No, I do not admit that. Did you hear me say that?
We all know what happened, Pilate. We just saw the tape.
Ain't nothing on that so-called tape implicates me of anything but trying to find a peacefully, non-legal solution to a potentially incendiary problem.
Right. Mr. Pilate, you were the 5th prefect of Judea, correct?
Correct.
A prefect being what?
Governor, also known as procurator. My official title was hegemon.
Hegemon?
Translated from the Greek, it means excellency.
I see. You governed or procurated over Judea from 26 to 36 AD, correct?
Longest 10 years of my life.
Why do you say that?
Have you ever been to Judea, Missy? It is not Paris, France. You can believe that.
I see.
Yeah, the Moses must have read the map backwards. Misplaced his bifocals or something. 'Cause if that was the promised land, shit, them Jews should have held out for a better promise.
You didn't care from damn much?
Yeah, boy. On for the empire, if you ask me. No atmosphere, nothing. Hot, dirty, dusty, flies everywhere. Complete lack of culture and amusements. I'd rather spend 10 years up inside of my ass crack. But Augustus wanted me to keep the peace there. So I obeyed my emperor and I did my duty.
And kept the peace?
That's right, baby. The Pax Romana, the prime directive.
And under your rule, how was the peace kept in Judea?
By any means necessary.
Violently.
Violently, otherwise, they was free to have it any ways they want.
According to Philo of Alexandria, who wrote about you in 41 CE, your tenure as governor of Rome was known for its constantly repeated executions without trial, wanton injustices, and graft and grievous cruelty. Do you care to comment?
No, I do not.
During your reign as procurator, how many deaths would you say you ordered?
A lot, and I don't apologize for it neither. Them Jews was rowdy.
Rowdy?
Rowdy, that's right, as in not docile, as in a motherfucker had to put his foot down.
And you put it down, didn't you?
Damn Skippy, I did. Oh, it's wrong. What's your brother to do?
During your tenure, how many crucifixions did you say you ordered?
A lot less than my predecessor, that's for damn sure. That motherfucker will crucify 7 out there on fire at a barbecue. We'll go buck wild from jump. Me, I reduced crucifixions in Palestine by 70%. And now that is documented.
Well, that's lovely, Mr. Pilate, but I will direct you to answer the question I was posed to you.
Which was what?
How many crucifixions did you preside?
I'd say a few hundred, give or take. So what?
Over 700 crucifixions while you were on assignment in Judea. That sound about right?
Sounds good to me, sure.
And you washed your hands of how many of those crucifixions?
I don't know what you mean by that.
I mean that other than Jesus of Nazareth, did you, in any other instance, publicly wash your hands in order to abdicate responsibility for your actions, Mr. Pilate?
I don't recall.
You backpedaled because you knew it was wrong.
Romans don't have backpedals.
You knew Jesus was a holy man or a fool, but whatever he was, you believed him when he said his kingdom wasn't on earth.
Now you see now, I do not recall that conversation.
You don't recall that conversation. You know what, Mr. Pilate? Say that again so I can slap a perjury charge on you. You ordered the death of Christ, you and you alone, and then you blamed it on Jesus' impetuousness, Judas's reticence, and the rowdiness of the Jewish people. Is that not the case?
You can all squawk if you want to. My conscience is clean. What you need to do is take it up with them Jews.
Mr. Pilate, were the high priests ordered to authorize a death sentence?
No, they were not.
How about King Herod? Was he authorized to order a death
No,
sentence?
he was not.
How about the Jewish people themselves? Were they free to issue and authorize death sentence at their woman's fancy?
No.
One man, Mr. Pilate, in all of Judea, was authorized to put another man to death. Who was that man, Mr. Pilate?
Am I on trial here? Because the last time I checked, it was your client, Judas Iscariot, freezing his narrow ass off to the ninth circle of hell. Not me.
My client recanted with a remorseful heart and was ignored.
Then you need to take it up with them Jews. I mean, this ain't some new theory I'm introduced to you. Ain't some Sherlock Holmes, Nancy Drew mystery here, lady. Them Jews was cantankerous, ornery. They worshipped a jealous, angry, and vengeful God. And guess what? Surprise, surprise. They was jealous, angry, and vengeful themselves. I never had one problem today that wasn't caused by some rabble-rousing, no-account Jew. Believe me, sister, you need to take it up with them, not me.
So is the Jews, Mr. Pilate, isn't it?
Well, it sure as shit was in Judea, missy.
You know what I think, Mr. Pilate? I think this whole story about you hemming and hawing about what to do with Jesus is just a load of made-up crap written by a Jewish Christian evangelist seeking to broaden the appeal of the Roman Empire. I think, Mr. Pilate, that you hated your assignment, and you hated Judea, and Mr. Pilate, you hated Jews, hated them. You hated them because they fought back. You hated them because they clung to their religious beliefs and were willing to die for them. But most of all, I think you hated them because you knew they were stronger than you. Yes, I think that bothered you a great deal. I think it kept you up at nights and made you count the days till you could return to comfort bourgeois of Rome. I think it made you vengeful and furious. I think, Mr. Pilate, that when Jesus of Nazareth was put before you that day, you did not see a holy man or a prophet. You didn't even see a human being.
What you saw before you that day was just one more Jew. And you didn't hesitate. You didn't wash your hands, Pontius Pilate. History did it for you, isn't that so?
I think I've had enough here.
If you were a man, Pilate, you'd own up to the truth.
The truth? Whose truth are you talking about, Red? The truth is I was made a saint in the Ethiopian church. The truth is I was named a martyr in the Christian church in 348 AD. That's the damn truth.
A Christian martyr.
Did I stutter, girlie?
Well, I guess it's what they mean when they say history is a lie. Agree to?
A lie? What do you know about what's a lie and what's the truth? What do you know about my history? All you got to go on is some book written 4 different ways by 4 different Jews who wasn't even there in the first place. And what do you know about my life after Palestine? What do you know what I might have did or didn't do when I got home to the motherland? That's right, you don't know jack, do you? They didn't write that part of the story down, did they? Shit, I'll tell you something. You and your presumptuous nature remind me more and more of my ex-wife Rhonda every minute. And believe me, that ain't no compliment. Yeah, I met that Jesus boy. Seemed like a fine fellow. Dressed like a hobo and smelled like a goat. You get the boy shaving in the shower, but basically been alright. And unlike Judas, that Nazarene boy had character. Didn't come up on me begging and groveling, crying like a bitch. He faced me like a man. Like a Roman almost. And that impressed me. I was willing to have me clubbed in his head for a couple hours. Redirect them youthful energies. But them Jews, they wasn't having none of that. They was fixing to pitch a fit until that boy was served up for lunch like chicken in a skillet. And they had the numbers on us that weekend. 200,000 strong, conversion on their city for their high holidays, ready to rumble at the drop. I did what I had to do to preserve the damn peace. Why? Because that was my damn job. I did my damn job, now you want to call me a liar? Question my veracity, my character? I'm a Roman lady, 100%, 24/7. We never close. Underneath my ball sack is Stem Veritas. And that means truth. And that means my honor is defined by my integrity. And my integrity is defined by my truth. And not if I hear and I produce one single shred of evidence to support your wild, defamatory claims. Shit, you better check your resume 2 times before you try and sweep your dirt under a Roman's rug. I'm clean like a dove and ready for love, Missy. Where you live at, girlfriend? I'm in heaven. I'll tell you what, though. You get your head straight out, you can give me a call sometime you want. Take you down to the aqueduct for a pizza and a tussle. Show you my tattoos. Any more questions?
I think, Mr. Pilate, that you've told us all we need to know.
Alright, then I'm gonna roll out now, boo. Work on my straw game.
Witnesses excused.
Yeah, Caesar, baby.
Excellency, head your mom. Just one question, if I may.
What's that?
Yes, I wonder if you could tell the court head the following. If Judas Iscariot came to your tent to recant, I'm not saying if you did or didn't. And by the way, the only gospel that says anything about Jesus recanting is Matthew. So it's 3 against 1. And the one in first is not only Greek, but a drunken Greek and a card cheat. But anyways, if you could please tell us, good Sir Hedge, when Judas Iscariot came to your tent to recant, if in fact if he did, which I'm not seeking confirmation or herewith, but however, if only by chance the drunken Greek was miraculously correct and he did in fact attempted to recant your claims and also to return the Tony Silva, if you could please tell us, and this is very important, did you get the sense or impression that Judas was recanting out of remorse and concern for Jesus? Or was he seeking out to undo the damage out of a next-saving fear of the dire consequences and everlasting repercussions of betraying our most rightful and exalted Lord, Jesus Christ, the divine Son of Man?
I am a man. The defense counsel made me speak this, but who happens to know a thing or two about remorse, personal and otherwise. In my days, I looked at the eyes of perhaps 10,000 men and sat in judgment with them. I've spared a few and executed plenty. I sent some to face the whips, the cell, the gallows, and the cross. And I've sent a few home as well. Remorse is rare, but when you see it, it is unmistakable. Judas Iscariot had no remorse. His fear left no room for it. His fear was 100% ego-driven and self-serving. 100% pain. 0% remorse. If you believe nothing else, you believe that.
Thank you, Reg. Thank you, indeed.
Next witness.
Your Honor, defense reconjures Satan to the sand.
Blue, you can come in now. Bailiff, go fetch it. Go fetch Satan. Go! Have a seat, Lou.
I want to file a formal fuck fucking complaint, Frank.
Oh, this ain't about the turkey roll in the cafeteria again now, is it, Lou?
No, it's not about the turkey roll in the cafeteria. I recognize 2 of your court officers over at the vending machine. Ask me how I recognize them, Frank.
Lou.
Don't fucking move me, you little fag. God has been stealing souls in the past. And you, honey clown, you're my fucking list, Kaisey. So don't expect any last-second reprieves. Shorts and tank tops, stretch, pack light.
This is unacceptable behavior, Lou.
Don't tell me what's unacceptable, Frank. Those 2 court officers were mine. What? I don't have enough to contend with? Now I got God cruising the barnyards of hell looking for condemned poultry like some sort of goddamn silver-tailed fox thief of the fucking night? This is bullshit, Frank. You know it. And I'm not leaving until I get my satisfaction. So you better do something about it right fucking now.
Do something like what?
Not showing up at any more of these circle jerks. Not some wind-up dog. Some of them dismissed like a fucking toy. Number 2, I want 2 souls before I leave here. So take a memo, pass upstairs. Take you, and who at me? Yeah, you. I should have cleaned your ass off the dung heap after we surrendered. I'll take some Darvin and a tall bourbon neat. What the fuck are you looking at?
I'd like to start my questioning.
Oh, you got some passing on the beat, you tried.
No, you're all done fine. Just let me know.
I'm sorry, maybe you can clear this up for me. Is today fuck with someone who can rip your heart out through your dried up miserable cunt day? Because if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure today is not that day.
No, today is the day where you answer my questions. After you're done behaving like a petulant child, that is.
Cunningham, I am directing you to hit the off switch and them flapping gums of yours until further notice. And to you, Lou, with all due respect to your stature and station, could you cut me a break here, please?
Frank, I have always been good to you.
And I to you. Is that not so? Well, listen, your complaint is duly noted and will be kicked upstairs at the conclusion of today's testimony, okay? Now, what I need to know from the both of you is that you will conduct yourselves with a deportment and adjustment to the solemnity of these proceedings. Can I have your words on that?
I'm ready to proceed, Your Honor.
With civility?
If I am met with civility.
You know what, Cunningham? All those excuses you got wedged between that dubious cleavage of yours, your mother, the booze, the herpes, the bulimia, the rape, the abortions, the bipolar pharmaceutical adventures, the twin suicide attempts, the abject failures at every relationship you've ever attempted. They all do nothing to band-aid the fact that there came a time when the world stopped rewarding potential. When that time came for you, you threw yourself the world's biggest pity party and dedicated the rest of your short, pathetic, inconsequential life to finding fault.
Second, please, that's a little on the bounce here.
Oh my God, El-Fayoumy. Your cock measures 3.5 inches erect and goes off an hair. Worse than that, you are a flatterer. Your love for God is utterly false. And the sole reason you're so hot with this nasty train wreck is you're addicted to tragedy and punishment. Not because you think you're a piece of shit, but El-Fayoumy, your self-diagnosis is correct. You're a weakling in a bag of hot air, and you'll never, ever be loved. You'll never be loved either, Cunningham. That's because you're incapable of giving it. You already knew that about yourself, didn't you? Never let it be said that Prince of Tyre stood in the way of truth.
No more outbursts.
I am a Buddha, floating on a lily pad.
Counselor, you may begin.
Mr. Satan.
I apologize for your behavior, Counselor. I had some bad fish at lunch.
Mr. Satan, you've had a long-standing feud with God, correct?
No, I love God.
You love God.
Very much. God made me.
Okay, you say God made you.
God did make me. It says so in the Bible.
I know about the Bible, Mr. Satan. It also says in Matthew, I believe. In Matthew it says, a good tree cannot bear bad fruit. So, are you saying that you are good, or are you telling this court that you are bad?
I'm not. I would never say that I'm good. I would never say that God is bad either.
So you telling this court that you are actually good?
I don't know. Are you good, Counselor?
That's not what I asked you.
I'm sorry.
Just answer the question.
I don't believe in good and bad. I believe in the truth.
Fine. According to Job and Nehemiah, you were present when God created the earth.
True.
You were an angel.
True.
You were ordered by God to serve man.
True.
Then God gave man, not you, dominion over earth. True?
True.
According to Genesis and Ezekiel, you then tempted Eve to eat the apple in order to prove to God that he had made an error in giving man dominion over earth. And then in Luke it says, you fell from heaven like lightning and became God's adversary. And ever since that day, you and God have been competing for human souls to prove that he had made a mistake in giving man dominion over earth.
I don't compete with God, God competes with himself.
That's not what I asked you.
I'm trying to answer your question.
No, you are not trying to answer my question.
Your Honor, I am trying to form a response here.
Let him answer, Cunningham.
Your Honor, it seems to me...
Quiet! Proceed.
Thank you. Look, I didn't make you people, God did. There's a design flaw in his creation. He gave you free will. Balance that out, you were designed to self-correct. But unlike the free will muscle, the self-correct muscle is not a particularly favorite of the Homo sapiens. I'd say self-correct falls somewhere between colonoscopy and firing squad on most people's holiday wish lists. At any rate, I don't have to actively compete for human souls. I don't have to lull, flatter, tempt, or deceive. Because with God at the helm, and you people running around wreaking havoc, be honest, I spend most of my time on the sofa watching one-hour dramas on HBO.
And what? Getting tossed to the heaven that didn't bother you at all?
There's a concept, Cunningham. It's called playing the cards you've dealt. One can accept this concept, or one can slowly lose their mind, heart, and soul. I mean, I wish I could be more helpful to you here, but it's really all it comes down to.
Is that so?
Hey, I'm just a fallen angel trying to keep this big card in a monotheistic society. Anything else you want to ask?
Your Honor, this witness is clearly lying. I move that his testimony be stricken from the record.
I'll not allow that. Sorry, you conjured him. What comes out of his mouth is your responsibility.
Also, you ought to expand your consciousness.
But he's obviously lying.
Unless you have another question, Cunningham, I suggest you step down now.
But
Forward or back, you've been instructed. Now what'll it be?
why do you love God, Mr. Satan?
It's not to love.
Specifically, Mr. Satan. What specifically do you love about God?
Where to begin?
Pick a spot.
I love God because he's all-powerful and all-forgiving. I love God because his justice is perfect. I love God because God loves me.
God loves you.
Very much. Gift baskets at Christmas, Hallmark greetings on all the major holidays.
Stop it. If God loves you, then why did he throw you out of his kingdom?
He didn't throw me out, I left.
That's not what it says in the Bible.
Yeah, they fudge that part. That's because you people only respond to fear and threats. They straight up told you there was no lock when I need to have it over there. You'd have no incentive to be even halfway decent.
In other words, God lied.
I didn't write the Bible, you know that, right, Cunningham?
Of course I know that.
Then why would you say that God lied?
Mr. Satan, does God love Judas Iscariot? Yes or no?
God loves everybody.
And yet, Judas is in hell. So what use is God's love to my client who's allowed to languish in damnation?
Your client is free to leave whenever he wants. In fact, I wish you would. I could use the fucking room.
That's not true, and you know it.
Well, maybe you should sit down and catch your breath.
The real truth is that God's love for us is conditional. Isn't that right? You failed to meet God's conditions, and he threw you in the trash. Judas failed, and he's in a catatonic stupor.
Your client succumbed to despair.
Yes, and if despair is so powerful as to render God powerless over it, then what does it say about God, Mr. Satan? It says one of two things. It says that God is not all-powerful and therefore useless, or God's love for us is conditional, which renders that love false and unworthy. Which one is it?
You are false and unworthy, Cunningham.
Your Honor, he's not answering.
What do you want me to do about it?
But he's not answering.
I suggest you step down now, Cunningham.
But I'm not finished.
Then finish.
But Your Honor, this isn't
It
fair.
is what it is, Cunningham.
Open your heart to God, Cunningham.
Shut up! Your Honor.
Cunningham.
Your Honor.
What, Cunningham? What?
You're a fucking liar.
I am truly sorry you feel that way.
Nothing further.
El-Fayoumy. Cross. You're excused.
Thank you. Counselors, you have availed yourselves as expected. El-Fayoumy, you're completely wrong too, by the way. I'll be in touch.
Next witness.
I am on 63rd and Park having dinner with Ellen Barkin and Ron Peroni. Right now I am on Lafayette and Astor, waiting to interrupt the change so I can get high. I I'm taking a walk through the rose garden with George Bush. I'm helping Donald Rumsfeld get a good night's sleep. I was in that cave with Osama and on that plane with Muhammad Atta. And what I want you to know is that your work has barely begun. And what I want you to trust is that the efficacy of divine love is practiced consciously. And what I need you to believe is that if you hate who I love, you do not know me at all. And make no mistake, who I love is every last one. I am every last one. People often ask of me, where are you? Where are you? Rarely I ask of you to ask yourselves, where are you? Where are you? Judas? Judas?
Who's that?
Is it ever anybody else, Judas? I miss you.
Uh-huh.
I miss you.
Don't fucking touch me! Just back off my grill, man, back off.
I'm sorry.
Back off more.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Judas. If 1,000 strangers spit on me and kick me as they pass, I will smile. But if the brother of my heart gives me only a passing hard look, I will not sleep that night, nor sleep at all, till you will let me love you.
No!
No what?
No more fucking fortune cookies, that's what. You want to say something, I can't stop you. You want to apologize? Fine. Apologize and go. Just for once. Speak like a normal fucking person.
I am not a normal person, Judas. And I'm not what you demand me to be. I am who I am, and not what you demand me to be. I will always be who I am and what I am. And when have you ever heard me deliver my message? I do differently, Judas.
When? Just go away.
I won't go away.
Will that be a first?
I have never gone away, Judas. Look at me. I love you. And all I want is not just to be near you, but with you.
You should have thought that before.
Before what?
Just get the fuck out of here, okay?
Judas.
Don't fucking Judas me. You're not wanting me, okay? Mr. fucking above it all.
I'm not above it all. I'm right here in it. Can't you see that?
Can't you see that? I don't fucking care.
You think your suffering is a one-way street? It's not. It's the exact opposite of not.
You got a lot of fucking nerve.
And you've got no nerve at all. Where's your heart in all this, Judas? You think you were with me for any other reason than that? You were my heart. You were all heart. Don't you know that?
I'll tell you what I know. I watched you trip over your own dusty feet to heal the blind, the lame, the sick, the unclean, any two-bit stranger to stub his fucking toe. When some lowly distant relative too cheap to buy enough wine for his own fucking wedding suddenly runs out of booze, no problem, you just press no change when it's fucking Miller time and old Cunningham, wasn't it, bro? But when I needed you, where the fuck were you, huh? You forget Peter and bullshit Thomas, you not Paul of Tarsus off a horse, you raised Lazarus from the fucking dead. But me, your heart, what about me? What about me, Jesus, huh? I made a mistake, and if that was wrong, then you should have told me. And if a broken heart was a sufficient reason to hang me, you should have told me that too.
Don't you think that if I knew that would have changed your mind, that I would have?
All I know is you broke me unfixable, and that I'm here. And you want to know when you delivered your message differently? At the temple, Jesus. That's when. And you were beautiful there, and you left there 3 inches tall, and we all saw it. I loved you. That's all I did. That's the truth. And now I'm here.
Judas, what if I were to tell you that you were not here? That you are up in my kingdom with me even now, and have been there since the morning of my ascension, and have never left?
That's what I think about you.
I love you, Judas.
Just stop!
Don't you see me here?
I see a lot of things.
You see a lot of
Yeah,
things.
that's right.
How about him? Do you see him? Do you know him? Call on to him. Touch him. He is not there. Because he does not exist. rather they must conjure him. He is still but a vapor blown away by a hummingbird's breath. He is false. He is a lie. He is not real. Go ahead. Touch him.
I don't want to touch him.
Stand up, Judas.
You know I can't do that.
What I know is that you can.
Get the fuck over yourself.
Will you feed my lambs, Judas? Will you take care of my little sheep? Will you feed my lambs?
Feed your lambs?
You know exactly what I'm asking.
Go!
Judas. Don't you know what would happen the very instant you got down on your knees?
What? Why on my knees? They should have buried me standing up because I've been on my knees my whole life. You left me.
I'm right here.
I would have never believed that you could have left me.
I have never left you.
That you didn't love me.
I do love you.
Then why? Why didn't you make me good enough so that you could have loved me?
Please, Judas. Take my hands, please.
Where are they?
They're right here.
I can't see them.
Right here.
Don't leave me.
Please, Judas, love me.
I can't.
Please, Judas.
I can't.
Please, love me, Judas.
I can't.
I'm, Mr. Iscariot? Mr. Iscariot, I don't know if you could hear me, but, I just wanted to introduce myself if I could. I'm, but Johnny Well. I was the foreman of the jury at your trial there, and, well, we found you guilty, Mr. Iscariot. I'm real sorry about that. Oh, got your 12-pack of beer. Actually, guess it's a 5-pack now, but, wait. Here. I don't know if you drink beer, but it's good stuff. Anyway, I'll just sit it down right beside you here. Okay, then. So, I think I'm dead, Mr. Iscariot. And I'm a little concerned about that because I don't think my soul's ready for judgment. But so far, nobody else has so far corroborated that I'm dead, so I just don't bring it up. But the fact is that if this is a dream, it's the longest damn dream I've ever endured, and really, I just miss my wife, Mr. Iscariot. Is it okay if I tell you that? I remember the first time I seen my wife, Mr. Iscariot. It was a party at Jimmy Rayburn's house, because Jimmy's mama worked till midnight, so he had the house to himself. And, you know, me and these two girls, Susie Heller and Delaney Robbins, we were just talking, smoking cigarettes out of Mrs. Rayburn's deck away from the party. I was depressed over something, probably because school was ending, and I had just been in the school play. I played Tom in the Glass Menagerie, and it was the first time I ever acted, and everyone said I was real good, but now the play was over, and school was almost over, and for the play, they had given me this real short haircut, like a 1940s style. And my ears, Mr. Iscariot, I don't know if you can tell, but they sort of stick out a bit, so with the play and the short haircut, I was kind of feeling self-conscious and dumb, and anyway, just not too cheerful. But I'm talking with Susie and Della out there on the deck, and all of a sudden, I see this girl inside of the party, and she had, I guess, just arrived. She had on this red jacket. It was a cheerleading jacket from the high school across the state line, the Red Raiders, and I remember, all I saw was blonde hair and this red jacket, and this smile that was, even from a distance, just kind of electrifying to the heart, you know? Anyway, she's coming over, and it turns out she's friends with Della from back in the day, like, I don't know, Scouts, Brandy, something like that. Anyway, she's coming closer, and I was looking at her, and she was so beautiful that I remember saying to myself, and this is exactly, word for word, what I thought. I ain't even gonna bother talking to this girl. So, she comes over and says hello, and I just excuse myself right off the deck. Head back inside, fixing to say my goodbyes and skedaddle, but before I could, Jimmy handed me a beer, and Somebody else started passing a bottle, rebel yell, and before you know it, after a few bonk hits and whatnot, we ended up sitting on the couch. And this girl, my future wife, she comes up to me and says, "I saw you in the play the other night. You made me cry." 2 days later, we went out on a date. I was driving her home, and we passed by this house where my friend Dave Hogue used to live. I hadn't seen him since he passed or went over the house. The family didn't even live there no more. But when I saw the house, I got struck with this feeling, Mr. Iscariot, so I asked her if she wouldn't mind if we just parked, in front of the house and sat for a while, and she said sure, so I took the car, parked in front of him, and we just sat there, quietly, not saying nothing. Before I knew it, Mr. Iscariot, I was tearing up, because this kid, he had been a real good friend of mine, and, oh God, I was crying, and tears and snot and whatnot were coming out of me, and she just held me while it was all pouring out onto her little white sweater, and it was so embarrassing, I couldn't shut it off or anything, but she just held me, and she didn't mind about that. She didn't mind at all. Anyways, later, I was driving her up to the door, and we got up to the door, and we started to kiss, and oh God, I'll tell you, it was like peaches and dynamite. But I apologized, and I went on to explain my meaning, but for the crying and everything, and she just looked at me and she said, "Don't be a jackass, Bush Honeywell," and I smiled, but then I went on to explain my meaning, which was, if you want a girl to think you're sensitive or something, then maybe taking her to the house of your dead friend and crying over her pretty white sweater might be a good way to do it. And you know what she said to me, Mr. Iscariot? She looked at me with them all the way dazzling eyes of hers, and she said, "It was a trick, and I'm tricked." Three years into our marriage, I took a job teaching at the state college. I was popular with the students there because I found a way to make them, a way to make them want to learn and such. One night, at the end of the semester, they took me out for beers. I ended up having an assignation with one of the co-eds. It was a young girl named Lucy. And that night, I got home in bed next to my wife, drunk as a skunk, and I remember, I was looking at her. I always liked to look at her when she was sleeping because she always looked so good. I had a little nickname for her when she was sleeping. I used to call her a little baby dinosaur because that's how she looked when she was sleeping, like one of those cute little baby brontosauruses. But anyway, I fell asleep and I woke up the next day and I remembered what I had done, and boy, she looked exactly the same as always, but somehow she just wasn't a little baby dinosaur no more, I had no idea why I had done what I had done, but I had done it and it couldn't be changed. My girl, she got up, went through her day as usual, didn't know nothing about nothing. I tried to make it better, Mr. Iscariot, but the only thing that did was more beer and women. You know who W.H. Auden was, Mr. Iscariot? W.H. Auden was a poet who once said, "God may reduce you on Judgment Day to tears of shame. Reciting what you have written, had your life been good." She was my poem, Mr. Iscariot. Her and the kids, but mostly her. You cashed in silver, Mr. Iscariot, but me, I threw away gold. That's a fact. It's a natural fact.